Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon, let's get to it.
Hi, everybody. Happy TGIF and welcome to Undisputed live from Los Angeles this morning. I'm Jen Hale here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Good morning, gentlemen.
Stop looking across the table. Don't worry about what I got. Jeez. Let me just have stuff. Let me have my space. This is mine, Skip. You can't. I don't want you to look over here. I don't want you to put anything over here. This is my side of the table. You don't see me looking over there.
I have never seen you do this much research for the first topic of this show, which should indicate you are in big trouble today. And by the way, did you see my guy Zion last night? He went with the no tie look.
He was copying you. I thought it was very clear.
Thank you. I think it was very clear what was
I think he copied somebody else from 16 years ago, but that's none of my business.
It was a good
I don't
mix
think
of
he
the two.
did.
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah, we'll talk
He was
about that.
combining LeBron and Skip.
Yeah, how are you?
Both.
Yes, sir. Here we go.
All right, guys, let's get started this morning, and we're going to begin with the draft. To the surprise of absolutely nobody, the Pelicans down in New Orleans drafted Zion Williamson #1 overall last night. That was basically a lock for months, right?
Yep.
And the next two picks were equally unsurprising. Ja Morant went #2 to the Grizzlies, and Zion's former Duke teammate R.J. Barrett 3rd overall to the Knicks.
Wow.
Shannon, out
Yes.
of these three college stars, who do you think will have the best pro career?
Whew. This is really tough for me, Skip.
It's tough
It
for
is.
you?
It is. Because you think it's a slam dunk. I do not. And I was looking at it, Skip. There have been 53 #1 overall draft picks. Only 10 have won a championship with the original team that drafted them. You got to go back all the way to LeBron.
Okay.
So, and I'm looking at these rosters. But for me, I'm going to say slightly, I believe Ja Morant. Because right now, I believe he can do more things than the other two guys. Ja not only can he score the ball, he's the first guy since they started keeping assists to be a 20 and 10. So he reminds you a lot of Russell Westbrook with his athleticism, his ability to get to the rack and finish at the rim. He's a better shooter than Russ. And the thing that I like most about him, Skip, is that he allows the game to come to him. If he needs 30, he'll go get 30, but he won't force it.
Okay.
If he needs to get 15, 20 assists, he'll give you that, but he won't force it. I love that about the guy. R.J. Barrett, watching him, sometimes I thought he forced it. I thought he sped himself up trying to do too much. Maybe, he heard all the praise and everything that was going on around Zion.
Good
He's
point.
like, I need some of that shine
Good
too,
point.
bro.
You finally made a good one.
Stop
I like
it.
that one.
And Zion, the thing is, Skip, for me, is that looking at his game, 3/4 of his points came in the restricted area. And 37% came outside. So the further you started moving outside the paint, that's not a good sign. And see, you got upset at Coach K because at the end of the game, they always put the ball in R.J. Barrett's hand.
Or maybe he put it in
No.
I don't know. But somebody did.
No.
You know?
College basketball is about the college coaching.
It is. I agree
NBA
with that.
basketball is about the players.
Correct.
So Coach K was putting it in his hands for a reason.
Okay.
Now, Zion went to the better team. I believe he has the better of the two, the three coaches that got these players. But for me, I'm gonna say Ja Morant slightly because I believe he can do more things earlier. His game is tailor-made, really, because he can shoot the basketball, he can score. He shot 36% from the three-point line. Russ, in the year he won the MVP, only shot 34%. Now the college three-point line is a little closer. But for me, Skip, I'm gonna take Ja slightly. Because I believe right now, because he can do more things than the other two guys. I think R.J. Barrett is just a scorer. So for me, I'm gonna say Ja Morant.
Okay. Are you suggesting that Zion will also go to the better team with more help?
Yeah, he does have that. Absolutely.
Okay.
You look at, he has Ingram, he has Holiday, he has Lonzo Ball. Peyton has like 8, 9 triple doubles. Yes, I believe he went to the better team. Absolutely, 100%.
Although I will remind you that Drew Holiday was there for 6 years with this guy named Anthony Davis. You love this guy, Anthony Davis. He's transcendent, right? And with Drew Holiday as his sidekick, or maybe his co-star, if you want to go that far, they were together in the games they played. They were sub 500. So
you say Drew Holiday isn't any good? Is that what you're telling me?
I'm just saying he made, how many All-Star teams did he make?
He made one.
For the Pelicans. He made 0. He,
Well,
made zero. He did make one long time ago in Philadelphia.
How many all defensive teams he made?
Well,
is he any good?
Well, he's pretty good. I'm not sure he made an all defense.
Yeah, first team.
Oh, yeah, first team.
First.
Okay, he did make one of those.
Yeah, one.
Okay, so here's the point.
Okay.
I love Ja Morant's point guard skills. I was on the record to you after the Marquette game in the NCAAs. I'm sold on that part of his game. He is ambidextrous in his passing to the point that as I watch him, I forget whether he's left-handed or right-handed because he's right-handed. But he can play left-handed just as well as he can play right-handed. He is a gifted passer. He's another one of those. We've had so many of them lately. It's starting to be twice or three a generation instead of once a generation because now we're getting too many Lonzos and Jaws and okay, so it's a couple of generations. But he's one of those guys, can't teach it, can't coach it. And I will give you this. His explosiveness at the rim is Westbrookian. I will give you that. He does shoot it well, but I'm a little concerned because it's Trae Young-like, it's feet on the floor set shooting. He doesn't have, to me, a jump shot. Maybe he will teach himself one. Maybe he will be taught one. But I'm a little concerned because Trae Young has a hard time getting his shot off at the next level.
I know another guy that shoots a shot that doesn't get his feet off the ground. You know him, Skip Bayless?
6'7".
I just saying.
6'7" tall as Lonzo Ball. This kid is 6'2"-ish, somewhere in there. So here's the bottom line to Ja Morant. In the games I watched at Murray State, he played little to no defense. You were making a case he's going to be better than a kid who's now a New Orleans Pelican who will make multiple first-team all defenses and will win multiple defensive players of the year in the NBA, and that is Zion Williamson. Multiple. Okay. This kid, I have not seen him play any defense. He doesn't even try. In fact, maybe he's watching LeBron and he decides, well, the way you do it is you rest on the other end of the floor, right? I'll save all of my energy for offense.
A guy that's made 5 or 6 first teams all defensive.
Once upon a time.
Okay.
Once upon a time. But again, Ja's just coming of age. So the LeBron he knows over the last, say, 3 years plays no defense.
Well, what guy you know, Skip, in NBA history was playing great defense year 14, 15, and 16?
Michael Jordan?
No, he wasn't. Michael was out of the league. He played 14 years, remember?
Yeah.
And he took 4 years off. But that's none of my business. I don't even know why I brought it up.
We do his age 34 season.
You can't do it.
LeBron was age 34 last year, and Michael's age 34 season. He made first team All-NBA defense. First team at age 34. How do you do that?
But at age 34, LeBron has played 20,000 more minutes.
Oh, so he's running out of gas? Oh, my God. How many excuses do we need? I thought he was Iron Man. I thought he was miles ahead of Michael Jordan in understanding fitness and nutrition, right?
Yeah, you already know. Yeah. 14 at 34 for LeBron. 16 at 34 for LeBron, and 34 with Michael, it was totally different.
So the guy you just made a case will be better than Zion is going to, night after night, have to face the Westbrooks and the Stephs and, dare I say, the Mike Conley Jr.'s.
Yeah.
And
who your guy going to have to face?
He's going to get terrorized by those point guards, in part because what did he refer to himself as? And I love Joe. I think he's a good kid.
God.
He called himself a point god. I'm the point. No, remember Chris Haynes said, you're a point guard. No, I'm the point god. And Chris had to ask him, huh? Like what? Point god?
Oh, no.
Okay, you don't think the Westbrooks they haven't made a little mental note of the point god?
So has LeBron James, so has Anthony Davis. All those, that's what he got to go against. The Paul Georges.
So you still sticking with that? Better than Zion? Okay, let's do RJ, shall we?
Yes.
RJ Barrett is being dramatically overrated by Knicks fans because I'll give you this. He's a Carmelo Anthony type, but he's a poor man's Carmelo. And I don't even know what to make of Carmelo's career at this point because RJ Barrett is a ball-hogging ball stopper. He is a high-volume shooter who makes a low percentage of his shots. You love that? Because I don't love that. Again, I have a fairly small sample size, but I watched very closely Zion, RJ, Duke. Big stage, big game, right? Starting off with Kentucky on opening night. Who took over the Kentucky game? Oh, it was Zion. What happened in all 3 big games that I watched? Big games was Gonzaga at Maui. Happened to watch this one because I did. I watched it very carefully. Zion has the clutch gene. I'm not so sure about RJ. I see zero clutch gene in him. So he'll shoot it. He's got
he's
the
a
big
volume
green light.
shooter now. He's a volume shooter.
He will jack it. But I don't know about making these shots because every time Zion had the ball in his hands in a key situation, such as 141 left against Gonzaga, he made a jump shot. It's like a 12-foot jump shot. You say he can't shoot. I don't know. He made that one.
12 feet.
And
Wow.
that tied the game at 87. And that was the only shot that Zion took down the stretch against a very good Gonzaga team in a big stage game at Maui in the early part of the season. Last 4:30, that's the last shot that he took. RJ, in the final 141 of that game, took 4 shots and missed all 4 of those shots. And Gonzaga hung on to win that game. Hashimura, who went pretty high last night, made a shot. And in that game, RJ was 9 of 25, 1 of 4 from 3, 4 of 8 from the free throw line. I don't know. Then how about the UNC game? It cost you another case of Diet Dew, but in the ACC tournament, what happened down the stretch of that game? Do you remember that one?
Dunk and put back.
Oh, he put it right back, didn't he? But it was a big putback because it put him up 1. And down the stretch, RJ took 2 shots and missed both of them. And then with 12 seconds left, Carolina intentionally fouled RJ and sent him to the free throw line. And at that point, Carolina was down only 1 point, and RJ bricked both of them.
Yeah.
He missed both of them. Remember that? It killed you.
Well, they fouled him at Michigan State. Remember?
Okay, all right.
He had a chance to tie the ball game and missed one.
I was going to get there. That was the third game. and what happened? Zion, 141, that's the magic number here, took and made his last shot. He drove it and banked it home, and that put Duke up 3 points at that point. And down the stretch, RJ missed 2 late shots with 50 seconds left and 12 seconds left, and they were open shots. He missed a jump shot and a 3-point shot, and then to your point, he had a free throw that this is it to tie the game, and he missed the first one. He made the second one, but he's going to have to make both of them to tie.
He tried to miss the second one.
He tried to miss it in the winter.
And he made it.
Okay.
Hold on, but you keep telling me about all this about, Zion, and he made this shot and he made that shot. Now, we saw what happened to the number 1 seed in the East when their best player, who's probably going to win the MVP, couldn't make outside shots. And they built a fort around the restricted area, and he couldn't get there. Can you tell the people at home what happened, Skip?
And your point is?
My point is, until Zion develops an outside shot.
Okay. Zion Williamson last year, I don't know how this made, maybe it's a fabricated stat, but my stat sheet said he made 34% of his 3-point shots. It's pretty good. RJ made 31% of his 3-point shots, and he's supposed to be the shooter of the two. Really?
No, he's the scorer.
Oh, the scorer of the two.
Yeah.
And by the way, RJ from the free throw line made a LeBron-esque 67%. You like that number? Because that was exactly what LeBron made.
LeBron is not in this topic, Skip. I don't know why you brought him up.
It just sticks in my head. 67% when somebody across the table bet that he would make 80+% last year from the free throw line.
Well,
okay.
67. Go.
Next. So, guess what?
What?
Last year at Duke, would you believe that R.J. Barrett averaged taking 5 more shots a game than Zion did? And in ACC play, it was 19-12.
Okay.
R.J. over Zion.
Okay.
So I'm making the case, as I did yesterday, I think that R.J. actually hampered Zion. I think he handicapped Zion, and we haven't seen the greatest of Zion because he's just kind of going along for the ride. And he's such a good kid. He's so unselfish to a fault. He deferred to a fault to a kid that he's obviously, that they look like I don't know what's the background of it, but they look like they're very close friends to me.
I agree.
They hug it out after every game. They're always very close to me. So the point is, to a fault, he's deferring to him when the go-to guy, the driving force of the team, was Zion. So if Zion has a little more of a green light from Alvin Gentry, I'm looking for much greater things in pro basketball than I even saw in college basketball. And Zion's going to have one huge advantage in pro basketball. I think he's going to play every possession in pro basketball like it's college basketball, which is not cool in pro basketball. He's going to play as hard as he can play every possession, and you just don't often find that. And when you couple that with 6'7", 285 of explosive leaping ability, unlike any we've ever seen, you're going to get extraordinary numbers over time.
We're going to see what happens, how hard he's going to be playing when he has to go up against LeBron, and he has to go up against AD and Kevin Durant and Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. We're going to see how long that lasts.
Okay,
because you keep telling me about Ja Morant having to go against the Conleys and the Russes and the Stephs and the Dame Lillards, and granted, he will.
Okay.
But you make it seem like this dude got to go up against cream puffs because the 3 and the 4 position is very, very strong and well, alive and well in the NBA.
You know what? Giannis doesn't pack near the physical punch this kid already packs. I'm talking about bowling ball punch. I'm talking about knocking people out of the way. Giannis knocks nobody out of the way because once they built that wall and they put number 2 right in front of him and then they put those 3 mountain men behind him, there's nowhere for him to go because he has no mid-range at all.
So what do you think they're going to do to Zion, who has even less than a mid-range than Giannis?
I disagree with that.
I don't.
Just wait. I saw lots of mid-range from him.
You didn't.
I just didn't see many opportunities because RJ's taking all the mid-range.
No, don't do that, Skip.
Yep.
Your guy was hanging out around the basket. I got no problem with that. Play to your strengths. Everybody say develop. Okay, no. I'm going to make my strengths even stronger. So I got no problem with him hanging around the basket, getting putbacks, dunking it, laying the ball up. I got no problem with that. But don't pretend like he could take people off the dribble like RJ Barrett could. There's a reason why Coach K, who's a 5-time national championship winning head coach, put the ball in RJ Barrett's hand in late game situations.
How'd that turn out?
Skip.
It was just wrong. It was flat out wrong. I called him out for it. I'm not hindsighting this. I did. I called him out the next day. What are you doing?
But there's a reason why he kept doing it. He's privy to information you nor I have, which is I get a chance to see these guys in practice and in one-on-one and in late game situation. One guy can get to the basket and dish off, and the other guy can only dish.
Well, so RJ's godfather was Steve Nash, but it's not his father. It's his godfather, right? His father, maybe it's a different conversation. I don't know.
You saw RJ Barrett has a better ISO game because he can handle the ball.
I get you, but Zion handles it just as well. He just doesn't play that way. RJ's a slasher, but you got to be a finisher at the next level.
Yes.
Okay, so for the Knicks, he's going to be another classic Knick player who shoots 25 shots a game, and he averages 25 points a game.
But Skip, what
and they go nowhere.
With Dennis Smith and Kevin Knox and Noah Vonleh, Moutier. What is he supposed to do? Frank Ntilikina.
I know, Ntilikina.
Ntilikina.
Yeah.
What's he supposed to do?
Well,
he's going to get 25 shots again.
Well, in 2 years, if he's got KD and Kyrie, we'll see.
No.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, he'll be a nice third option. Maybe he turns out to be a poor man's Klay Thompson.
Okay, maybe he would. No, he can't shoot a lick like that. Come on, he can't shoot threes.
No, I'm just saying.
Okay, like a third wheel.
Yeah.
Okay, he'd work as a third wheel, but Zion's going to be the first wheel, the second wheel, and the third wheel.
No. We're going to talk about this, but that's not what David Griffin said.
Okay, well.
He said, don't do that.
Okay, well, I'm doing it already because he is that good and he can live up to that. And this is the classic case of one guy makes all his teammates better, Zion. RJ makes nobody better.
What about Ja?
That's all he does is make his teammates better. But his teammates they're going to have to cover for him on the other end of the floor.
But here's the thing, though, Skip. It's not. You make it seem like Murray State talent and Duke talent is comparable.
No,
Can you imagine if Ja Morant had RJ Barrett, had Cam Reddish, had those guys?
Okay, I got you. But they destroyed Marquette. They just
he did with a trip dub.
Bad. It was destruction. And then what happened? The very next game, what happened? They run up against Florida State. Long, athletic, physical, nasty.
Yeah.
And what happened? Nothing happened. Like they just got taken completely out. And again, he didn't have much, if any, help.
Right.
I will give you that. I still love the kid. I still like the pick. But this was a one-player draft. And the one player, you hit the lottery. You got him. Period. End of story.
Let's be all the way 100. 29 teams would have selected number 1 and would have kept the pick. If the Lakers get the number 1 overall pick, what's going to happen, Skip Bayless? Jen Hale, you can chime in too if you like. They're going to trade his butt to New Orleans for Drew Holiday and AD. And now you can have Zion, you can have Lonzo Ball and Brandon Ingram, but we getting 2 guys in return. So don't pretend like, were they going to trade LeBron? Were they going to trade Magic Johnson? No.
Okay. I don't get your point exactly.
You keep saying it was a 2-player draft. I mean, a one-player draft.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
Any team would have loved to have Zion.
Okay.
No question, Skip. But if the Lakers get that pick, they're moving him. They don't believe he was the guy.
How do you know that? What this has nothing to do with the Lakers. And who's to say the Lakers wouldn't have said,
nah, we good. We want AD and Holiday.
okay, I'll give you this. Right here, right now, if you gave me a choice for LeBron James as he enters his last last 2 good years, sure, I'm going to go with the established Anthony Davis.
That's all I'm talking about.
Well, no, that's not. I'm talking about long-term impact because, listen, Zion will have twice the long-term impact that Ja or RJ will have. Twice. He'll have. I'm talking about offense, defense, making team better, being the face of the franchise, the driving force of the franchise. Zion will have twice the impact those two kids will have. And they're both just nice players. They're really nice.
And he'll be out of New Orleans in 6-7 years.
Okay. Well, so what's your point? Because he's going to go somewhere else because they're going to pay him the max?
Nope.
You mean he's going to be a bust?
No. He's going to be up out of there. He ain't going to want to be there. He's going to be on a bigger stage.
Okay, well, that's fine. But maybe he'll fall in love with this stage. You can do great things on little stages, right?
We want to do
Ask number 2. That's a little stage, according to you. You said it's somewhere up there in Canada.
Whoa. Time about. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand what Kawhi Leonard is? So now he's going to be even better than Kawhi. A 2-time Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
A 2-time... Skip, there are very few players that have Kawhi Leonard's resume. This guy's unproven now. Come on.
Well, I didn't say
You go overboard. You fall in love
I didn't
hard.
say that Zion... Remember, number 2 got drafted, stolen by the Spurs with the 15th overall pick to go play with Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, and Tony Parker, coached by Greg Popovich. That'll work, won't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so his resume came from that.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did.
No, it didn't. He went out on his own, branched out on his own.
Plus, he had no shot when he came in. He was all D, no O. And Chip England, the shot doctor, the greatest shooting guru and coach in the league, rebuilt his whole shot. And he paid us back by stiffing him.
No,
Way to go.
Skip, you know what?
Well, he did.
Look
He
here.
did.
You fall in love. I mean, you fell in love with this kid from like the first time you saw him. You that guy that go out on a date one time and buy the girl $1 million crib. Stop falling in love so quick. Let it play out. You make it seem like Ja Moran's a bum.
I told Ernestine on our very first date, I've told you this before, I said, if this goes anywhere, you're always going to be 1A to my job. I told her that. She said, okay, I accept that.
No, Ernestine didn't say that.
She did.
I
swept her off her feet, but she accepted it. And it's still true to this day. But it's a good 1A because nobody else gets any, whatever I got left, she gets it. So
you only give him 5% because his job is everything. Because you be harassing me.
Well, okay, you get it all. You get the one.
You get
with both barrels every day.
Comes to the job.
That's correct.
Or Ernestine.
Yeah, I know.
Well, speaking of relationships, the one between Zion and the city of New Orleans officially begins today. He has his introductory press conference, 3 o'clock Central Time in the Crescent City.
Well,
so
let's hope it's not a victory parade because we're a little premature.
Oh, no, don't do that. No, you done hype this man up. He Magic Johnson and LeBron.
Next, speaking of Zion, he paid homage to King James last night with his draft outfit and maybe a little bit to Skip, too. We can debate that.
Yeah.
Now, should LeBron give Zion career advice?
That's a good question.
We'll discuss that up next.
No mercy.
The Pelicans drafted Zion Williamson #1 overall last night, and now Zion is coming into the NBA with the most hype since a guy who lives pretty close to our studio here in LA, LeBron. Last night, Zion talked about reaching out to the King for a little advice. Take a listen.
Probably will hit him up. Hopefully he responds to me. But my questions would probably be like, what do I have to do to maintain? Like, what do I have to do to just try to like make my way to the top?
Good question. Shannon, if you're LeBron, would you advise Zion?
Yeah, I would. And Zion already hit him up. Hey, LeBron, what'd you wear on draft night? Oh, white suit? Oh, let me see what if I can do that too.
I don't think that.
Yeah, I think that's the case. Everybody knows.
Do I get to talk now, or is it still
No,
your turn?
it's my turn.
I'll address that in just a moment. Thank you.
Yes, Skip. He should advise him because LeBron James is the only guy that knows what Zion is going through currently. Now, I remind you that when LeBron stepped on the scene with this hype, there was no Facebook. LeBron got drafted in 2003. The Facebook launched in February of 2004. There was no IG. That came in 2010. There was no Twitter. That came in 2006.
Okay.
So what LeBron has been able to navigate. Now, social media was in its infancy as LeBron started to go here. Skip, it's full board now. This is a grown man. Now you got Facebook. Now you got IG. Now you got Twitter, Snapchat, and a host of other. Skip, when LeBron started, there might have been 300 media members that covered the NBA. Now they're 300 million because everybody that has a social media account figures they're an expert and can chime in on everything. That's what he's going to have to navigate. That's what he's going to, LeBron doesn't do a whole lot of responding. You see, Tiger did the same thing to Mike because Michael Jordan was the only guy that Tiger Woods could call, what's going on here? I can't go nowhere. I get no privacy. Everybody. And Michael told him that, bro, you can't just shut up in your hotel room. You'll go crazy. You got to get out and enjoy some of this.
You think he told him that?
Yeah, that's what Mike said he told him.
Okay.
Because Tiger was just, he told him a host of other things, too.
I was going to say, I'm not sure that's the guy I'd go to for that kind of
Yeah,
advice.
no.
I don't know. I don't know.
I ain't going there. I don't know what you talking about, Skip Bayless. But I just think the thing is that LeBron has done a great job both on and off the basketball court, Skip, of navigating this thing of fame and, for the most part, staying out of harm's way.
I agree.
Skip, Mike was a brand. Mike had all these endorsements. But LeBron says, he took a lot from Mike. I want to be a brand. Skip, he used to have an endorsement deal with Nike. Not Nike, but with McDonald's. But when it came, he could have ownership in Blaze Pizza, he put McDonald's down. He went to Blaze. He was more in ownership. Mike, got into ownership
I
late.
give Maverick Carter a great amount of that credit. Okay.
I'm glad you brought that. That again, what did he do? See, LeBron is the business of helping people, giving people. He believes in helping everybody rise up. Look, everybody can eat from this table. You ain't just got to eat off my plate. We all gonna eat. I got no problem. LeBron greatness will be unaffected, unimpacted by anything Zion Williamson does. And plus the fact that, Skip, look, I believe that LeBron wants what's best for young players coming into the league. He feels, I don't know if you watch Netflix, but I just watched this great documentary last night, yesterday afternoon, called The Black Godfather, the Charles Avant. LeBron James is the second Black Godfather.
Right.
If you notice,
I'll buy that. I'm with you.
A lot of players reach out.
I got it.
LeBron James had a production company. I didn't know Steph Curry. Now Steph Curry has one. KD has one.
You're right.
So LeBron, Skip, I got no problem with this. I got no problem with Zion reaching out. It shows, because sometimes, Skip, you're like, I ain't reaching out to him. What he gonna tell me? Sometimes guys, they know everything and they don't want to reach out, or they seem weak. And, well, Michael wouldn't have reached out and Kobe wouldn't have reached out. Yeah, I don't care about all that. I'm saying what's in the best interest for you. Don't worry about what they did.
Okay.
What's going to most benefit Zion Williamson? And I believe reaching out to LeBron James, who can help him, give him an idea of what he's going to need to do to navigate as far as keep your head down, block out the noise. Because there are going to be times that people are going to say some things about you that, hey, might not be true. You can't respond. Keep your nose down, butt up, and work. And that's what LeBron James can offer him. And I hope he does reach out. And I'm sure there's no question in my mind, the LeBron James that I know, gonna holler
One
back.
you DM with?
Don't worry, see, there you go, Skip. I tell you stuff in confidentiality. You don't have to
I love that. Just call the man. Don't DM with him. Call him. So I'm going to give you this. I need to echo what you just said. LeBron James has done at least as well as Michael did at navigating the pressure, the attention, the fame, the fortune. Because LeBron has embraced it.
Yes.
Michael kept it all at arm's length. So it's very different. It was easier for Michael to navigate because he just said no to everybody and everything. And yet LeBron has said yes again and again. He has let the world into his life, and obviously on Instagram, Twitter, he constantly, especially on Instagram, he's going to let you way inside his life. Michael would never let you inside of anything, anywhere, anytime, and even now, he's not letting you inside.
No.
Okay, now, let's get back to this question. This is just me, my take from a distance. LeBron James owes Zion absolutely nothing. In fact, I can make the case he owes him less than nothing, because I'm going to remind you, remember what we saw back on February 9th? Who showed up at a game, Duke at Virginia? Who showed up? LeBron. Rondo was along, but so was Rich Paul. Aha. And Rich Paul runs Clutch Sports, but LeBron sort of funds Clutch Sports, so it's sort of
it's
in
self-funding
his domain.
now.
It's in his domain.
It's self-funding.
But whatever. They are Clutch Sports. And clearly they went to that game in part to check out the phenom, but in larger part to show Zion that they're there and that they would love him to be a client of Clutch. Am I right?
I just want to make sure.
Yep,
So
yep.
Rich Paul is the only agent that watched Zion Williamson play this year.
No, I'm just saying they wanted to make it clear. Did they want him? Did they recruit him? Sure they did.
Yeah, of course.
Well, who wouldn't, right?
That's my
point. But they did. And it felt like it came down in the end to Clutch versus CAA. It felt like that. I don't know the exact backdrop, but I'm pretty sure it came down to that. And despite LeBron showing up at that game, which was a nice gesture, but LeBron's a huge basketball fan anyway. I think he wanted to see up close and personal. What's this kid made of?
Yeah.
By the way, in that game, Duke won by 10 at Virginia, the eventual national champ, and Zion took a grand total of 8 shots in that game and made 6 of them. Now, RJ took 15 shots and he made 8, and that was his best game of the year because he made 6 of 10 threes, which was an aberration for him as a 30% three-point shooter. But that was arguably Duke's best game of the year with LeBron in the front row, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what happened? Zion, thanks to mom and stepdad, they chose CAA.
Okay.
I can't argue with that.
Right.
Okay. And yet, that should burn the bridge for me. If I'm LeBron James, I'm out. Like, just go it alone because he had a chance to actually hire LeBron. In effect, you'd be hiring LeBron as your big brother figure, as your godfather figure, as your chief advisor. You don't think if you were part of it, like Anthony Davis is part of Clutch, so do you not have a direct pipeline to LeBron? Now they're obviously teammates.
So I just want to make sure I'm hearing this correctly. So if I reach out to someone and ask them for advice, and I don't sign with their management company or their team, that person shouldn't give me the advice?
Okay, but you had a chance to have all the advice you could ever ask for. If I'm LeBron, this is just how I would react. You had your chance. Now, good luck to you.
I'm glad LeBron didn't do it.
Okay, but this is what I don't love about LeBron. He's got the old keep your friends close and your enemies closer. So he wants his new enemy to be
an enemy.
This kid's going to be a force.
So?
Yeah. He's not LeBron because he doesn't play anything like LeBron. But do you remember what the great Steve Kerr said after one game? He watched the Kentucky game back in, November? And the next day, remember what he volunteered to the media? I thought LeBron was a one-shot deal, but apparently the next guy is coming. That's after watching one game. Steve Kerr said that. And then he said, Adam, he's talking to Adam Silver, wherever you are, I hope you're not listening. I don't want to get fined. So
for me, Skip, I mean, there's no better person he can reach out to because not only is LeBron James a big brand about ownership, he's also made it cool for other athletes, especially NBA, to take issue on social stands. Prior to LeBron.
Okay, I got that. I give you that, but that has nothing to do with giving advice to a kid.
Skip, you're gonna give him advice. Hey, you can't eat you can't eat that table, that plain food, that locker room food. You're gonna have to get you a chef. You're gonna have to take care of your body. You're gonna have to get your sleep. You're gonna have, the women gonna be there, whatever. Basketball is the most important thing. It needs to be your wife, your mistress, and your girlfriend. That is it. Everything else will come in time. But the most important thing is basketball. They're very similar, Skip. You see how he talks about his mom. I like that he and his mom was dressed alike with the white outfits. LeBron James, Gloria is the end-all, be-all.
Okay.
Got no problem with that, Skip. Reach out. See, sometimes we get so caught up that we won't help. Skip, billionaires, if I'm a billionaire, I'm not going to go to a guy that's making $100,000 and ask him for financial advice. I'm going to go to the guy that knows what it's like to have this amount of money.
Yet you always tell me that if you're the franchise quarterback and they draft a rookie quarterback, that you don't owe the kid anything.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't say that. No, you don't owe him. But if he asks for, I'm not saying you go, hey, bro, put your arm around and say, hey, brother, I'm gonna take you under my wing.
Yeah.
But if he reaches out to you, I don't believe you should shun him like you're saying he should do.
Okay. So now I've got to clarify my final point about you didn't give me a chance to talk about the suits. I do not believe Zion was paying homage to LeBron James. I don't think he had any idea what.
Oh, stop it, Skip Bayless. You need to stop right there.
What color was Zion's suit last night?
White.
Help me out. It was not white. It was cream. It was cream.
Wow.
Hey, it was cream.
Cream.
And he wore a white, just snow white tuxedo shirt, which has that pleated bib in the front.
Oh, wow.
And he wore it open collar.
Oh.
LeBron wore pure white. White as the driven snow white
okay.
with a white tie.
Okay,
With
okay.
a white tie.
So now we going.
Okay, I don't think it was the same at all.
Okay, so we can go money green, mint green, seafoam green.
Okay.
Oh, Skip, you know that's close.
No, it was not close.
You know,
and then Zion goes no tie, and he goes kind of sloppy look because he just lets the shirt kind of just fall open, which I don't love. It's my pet peeve. And you know why? He doesn't take himself nearly as seriously as LeBron takes himself. That look right there says, hey, I'm just a guy. I'm really good, but I'm just another guy here. I want people to think I'm not full of myself. That's what that look says to me.
What that look says, I'm not Skip Bayless, who does heavy start.
Yeah, I do.
That the shirts only can last 3.
I hate droopy collars. It's my pet peeve. Because it just looks sloppy to me.
That's why
it looks sloppy. It does.
You do know starch shortens the shelf life of a shirt. You do understand that, right?
Well, Fox has got a little budget.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I got to keep that in mind.
I'm just impressed you two can discuss shades
hey,
so well.
Hey.
Going off with the green?
Hey, that's not homage. He has no idea.
Okay.
Okay, did he go out and get LeBron's outfit exactly?
No, but stop
Don't spin.
No.
Stop it.
Come on.
You are.
No.
But you know what?
And you saw what Zion's quote was, or you heard it. He said, hopefully he responds to me, because he knows that a bridge at least was set on fire. He didn't choose clutch.
LeBron going to be like, what's up, bro? What you need? Well, this is how I did it. This is what I did. I got you. Anything
you know what
you need,
Zion
call me.
Zion was thinking, I'm clutch. They're unclutch. You know,
Whatever. No, you're not.
All right, good stuff.
No mercy.
Hi, everyone. Jen Hale here with a quick word from today's sponsor, Rothy's. Rothy's are the everyday flats for life on the go. They're stylish, comfortable, and go with everything, from yoga pants to dresses and skirts. They've quickly become a most loved, gotta-have brand thanks to their wide range of colors and patterns, with new ones launching constantly. And there is zero break-in period. Since Rothy's are crafted using 3D knitting techniques and hand assembly, their seamless design means right out of the box comfort. Best of all, they're made from recycled plastic water bottles. That's right, over 25 million water bottles have been diverted from landfills to make these gorgeous and sustainable shoes. Another major bonus, they're fully machine washable, so your pair will be fresh and ready every laundry day. Plus, Rothy's always come with free shipping and free returns and exchanges. There's no risk and no reason not to try. You'll quickly discover why BuzzFeed called them their forever shoes. Check out all the amazing styles available right now at rothys.com/cadence. Comfort, style, and sustainability. These are the shoes you've been waiting for. Head to rothys.com. That's ROTHYS.com/cadence today. Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. Back to the show.
No mercy.
Gentlemen, the next topic for you to debate. Kawhi Leonard's week of awesomeness continued last night.
Who wrote that?
He received a standing ovation in Toronto at the Blue Jays game. Obviously, everybody in Toronto wants the upcoming free agent to re-sign with the Raptors. But the Claw certainly has the luxury of options. Woj reports Kawhi will likely take a meeting with the Sixers, a surprise, in addition to the Clippers, Knicks, and Nets. Shannon, what does this tell you?
Still. Oh, hold on. Say, I'm number one. Enjoying it. Hold on. He bigger than Trudeau, who's the prime minister. He's bigger than he is right now.
I agree with that.
So I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
I'm going to take in whatever I want to. I'm going to the Blue Jays game. What else going on in Toronto this time of year? I'll be there front and center. I'm king. So I'm going to enjoy this, Skip Bayless. Why wouldn't he?
Maybe he's taking advantage of Kawhi and dine, as they call it, where he can just eat free. He's just going to stay there for a while, eating free until July 1st. I'm out.
Don't do that. Don't do that. You do not know what that man's going to do. He might say, you know what, I'm going to enjoy this. I'm going to take you up on that penthouse. You know, the gentleman that offered him a penthouse rent-free as long as he stays in Toronto.
Maybe he's living in it right now.
He might.
And he's about to get evicted.
Living his best life. Look, Kawhi is, it doesn't mean, hopefully, Toronto and Raptor fans does not see this as an indication that he shows up at a Blue Jays game, that means he's staying. That means he likes baseball. Because remember last year, Skip, he went to a Dodger game with the same outfit, had a Dodger hat on and a Dodger jersey. I think he had a Kershaw jersey on. Didn't mean anything. And it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean he's going to sign with the Lakers this year or last year or any other time.
Yep.
All that means, hey, maybe he likes baseball. He's enjoyed. You don't know if he'll ever be in this situation again. So, 15 minutes of fame, he's gonna soak it all up. He's going to have longer than 15 minutes. He's been on the big stage for a long time as a Finals MVP, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. He been famous. That's why it hurts you so bad that he did this.
Doesn't hurt me at
all.
It does.
Yeah, it does.
I haven't lost 1 second.
Yeah, I can't tell the way you won't even call the man his name. Mama named him Kawhi, you call him number 2. What kind of foolishness is that? That's not only just...
He's number 2 to me, and he's about to be number 2 to Toronto fans.
No,
you watch.
You don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know that.
I do know
You
that.
do know that.
I know his history.
But you know what, Skip? I mean, the only thing that's surprising is that one of the reports said that he's thinking about taking a meeting with Philly, and we don't know where this came from, but that would put, whoo, now Philly might be sitting in the catbird seat. Him and Joel Embiid, you talk about a formidable defense. They'd be on to something that clearly they'd be head and shoulders above anybody in the East, and they'd be to deal with because I believe they would represent the East and they would be tough to deal with in the Western Conference. But Skip, he's going to do his due diligence. I don't believe. If anybody knew what he was thinking, Skip, you could get a better understanding, but you don't know because he doesn't say anything. I don't know I don't know who he talks to. Maybe he talks to Uncle Dennis once a week, once a day, maybe once every other week. I don't know. But no one knows. Toronto doesn't know. Everybody's Jerry West and the indication. There's no indication. At least like Kyrie is giving indication that it's the Nets. Nobody has anything, and this Philly came up out of the blue. But I take nothing from him being at a Toronto Blue Jays game, just that he loves baseball, and right now he king. He the king of Canada.
Okay.
He the
king. Is he the new king?
No.
So your king got dethroned by him?
Wait a minute. Hold on. He the king of Canada.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they play in
We
the
the
NBA.
We the champ. We on deck.
Okay. You're on deck.
Yep.
My turn?
Yep.
Thank you very much. My favorite moment of yesterday is when I saw a picture of number 2 at the Blue Jay game, and I'll get to what he was doing in the picture in just a moment. But the good news was that 3 days after the parade in Toronto, the victory parade, he was still in Toronto. And I was a little surprised by that because that's 3 days in which he could have gone home to Southern California.
Maybe that's his new home.
Okay, well, okay. So that's what I said. That's the good news. The not so good news is what he was doing in the picture I saw at the game. He was taking cell phone video of a guy who doesn't play for the Blue Jays. He was taking it of, wait a minute, it's Mike Trout. He just fanned out. He's taking cell video of Mike Trout. And I'm thinking, you're better than that. You're out there being
That's Mike Trout.
Okay, but again, would LeBron go to a Tom Brady game and be taking video of Tom Brady throwing a pass? I don't think so. You're just bigger than that.
He probably would get a picture of him before the game.
Okay, well, that's the point here. You can fan out and go meet him and get to know him a little bit, okay? But you're sitting in a box seat and you're like taking video of an opposing star. And where does that star play? Oh, he plays for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Sorry. Yeah. Los Angeles Angels. That was a Freudian slip because I still think he's got a shot coming to the Lakers. You never know.
No.
Yeah?
Skip, that is Mike Trout.
Okay.
Do you know who that is?
Okay, and help me out. Where did number 2 grow up? Aha. Well, as you just pointed out, he went to a Dodger game wearing a Dodger hat. So he was in Toronto, but you go and you're taking video of the opposing team's superstar. And he is a superstar. Some people make the case he might be the greatest baseball player ever. But it's the equivalent of LeBron James going to an Indians playoff game once upon a time wearing a Yankees hat. That's the equivalent of that.
Right.
To me, I would be a little offended by that. Like, really?
He's a Yankees fan. LeBron has made it abundantly clear he's a Yankees fan.
Okay, he grew up in the Cleveland area. Right?
I grew up in the Georgia area, and I'm a Yankees fan.
Okay. Would you go to a Braves game if they're in the World Series against the Yankees? I don't know where you
If I went to a Braves game when I was growing up, they'd have put me in the game.
Yeah?
They were terrible when I was growing up.
Really?
Yeah, the Braves were terrible.
Okay.
Dale Murphy was good, though.
Oh, he was really good. I would agree with that. Okay, so now we get to the Sixers report. Now think about this. If you're a Raptors fan, you're saying, okay, if he winds up with the Clippers or maybe long shot the Lakers, I can deal with that because he grew up there. And if you're a Raptors fan, you say, look, Uncle Dennis took over all of his affairs, and Uncle Dennis lives in New Jersey, and he badly wants him in New York or with the Nets, obviously in Brooklyn, and you can live with that. But all of a sudden, we get the report that the Sixers are going to get a meeting. That's the ultimate disrespect to Raptors Nation because the Sixers are the biggest threat. I don't care what you say. If Joel Embiid had been healthy, if he hadn't had the flu or double flu or whatever he had and bad knees, we would be having a different conversation. They might be the NBA champs right now.
Bad baby food.
Okay,
Stomach,
whatever.
Tum always hurting.
But they're the biggest threat. They're a bigger threat to me than Milwaukee is. That's just me because I think they're better because Embiid and Simmons just give them more
Wherever
firepower.
Kawhi goes, if it's in the Eastern Conference, they are a threat.
So you would leave the Raptors to join forces with those guys in Philadelphia? You're going to take a meeting with them?
Yeah, take a meeting.
This is this guy all over. This is who I told you he was from the start.
Why can't he meet with
the
him?
ultimate disrespect.
Why?
I would be furious if I were a Raptor fan.
Be furious.
I'd throw up my hat and then I'd throw up my breakfast.
I'm sure some of them are furious, but guess what? That fury soon leave as soon as you find out he's coming back.
Oh, yeah?
So he owes it to himself. Kawhi Leonard has fulfilled his obligations with the Toronto Raptors.
That's exactly right.
Delivered
he lucked into it.
No, he didn't luck into it.
And by the way, he made the luckiest shot in playoff history to keep these guys out of it, to keep the Sixers out of it. And then you're going to go join them?
He might.
After you beat them?
He might.
Ah.
Well, that's not. Well, we know somebody. So what would you look down upon more? Somebody that beat him and joined him, or somebody that lost to him and joined him?
I don't care about anybody else. I'm just talking about this guy.
I figured you wouldn't care about that. I don't care about what Kawhi does. Kawhi said, you know what? Look, what it tells me, like he said now, the report says he's going to meet with Toronto, possibly Philly, the Nets and the Knicks, maybe the Clippers and so on. So what does that tell me? If he's willing to meet, he's interested somewhat. Charlotte's not getting a meeting. Sacramento, Memphis, not getting a meeting.
Okay.
So you should feel good.
Again,
you should feel good.
Who doesn't fit in that picture? The Sixers.
Oh, no. They fit in there.
Yeah.
Because he said they might take a meeting from him.
Okay.
Is Toronto on that list? Don't worry about it.
Obviously, it's already on the list.
Okay, so don't.
You don't need a meeting with Toronto. You know what Toronto is.
I might want you to make some more concessions.
Okay.
I might want a few extra passes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Might want a few extra seats on the plane.
Okay. You want lifetime passes to Angels games?
No. I'm saying might want a few more concessions, Skip.
Okay.
That's all.
All right. That's fine. So, what have I told you about this guy from the start? Low basketball character.
Hey, you know what, Skip? How did he have low basketball character?
Because they made him everything he was in San Antonio, and then he said, "I'm out. I quit."
Yeah, I did.
I quit.
I did.
Yeah, I did.
Skip, at the end, let me tell you how this thing works, Skip. At the end of the day, it's not about money. It's not about anything. It's about respect. Do you value me? Do you think what I bring to the table is good enough that you're going to treat me right? Kawhi didn't feel like they valued him because they were willing to send him out there as a sacrificial lamb. He says, I'm hurt. They say, no, you're not. Go play. So he's like, y'all showing me lack of respect. I appreciate. Okay, Skip, you took me with the 15th pick.
Yep.
Okay, I repaid that tenfold. Now, give me my max deal. Give me that. I've earned it. So I don't think
they're saying, well, wait a second, you miss a lot of games.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
always have.
It's okay. So I don't know why you would want him. A guy that missed that kind of time, Jim, missed 73 games.
I already told you, good riddance. I'm good.
No, that's not what Pop
Onward
said.
and upward.
Pop came to San Diego to meet with him.
Well, you would, because he's the best player.
He low character. He missed all these games. You remember you had, you listed them off, Skip. He missed 73 games with a phantom quad injury, and you said he had a wrist, and he had an elbow, he had back spasm.
We don't have enough show to list them all.
Exactly. So why would you want that low character, injury plague, no talking guy? Why would you want him on your roster?
Because you put so much time and effort into making him the player that he was. And he was obviously talented to start with, but he had no shot. They taught him to shoot. They taught him how to win. They taught him how to play professional basketball. And you couldn't have greater teachers than Tim Duncan, Manu, or Tony Parker.
Well, they ain't there no more. And one of them turned his back and pretend like, oh, I'm so happy for him. Oh, I am so happy that Kawhi won a championship.
Because they take the high road as opposed to the low road that he took out of town.
No.
I know you guys could discuss this all morning.
I'm good.
But there's some more
I'm
topics we want to get to, so we're going to leave that one there. Up next, will Zion be the savior in New Orleans? They're going to debate that one when we come back.
No mercy.
Back to the NBA. Zion Williamson's message to Pelicans fans last night was, quote, "Let's dance." Well, that dance is going to include sky-high expectations for the #1 selection. After New Orleans made their pick, Zion said, "I understand Rome wasn't built in a day, and I also understand I'm a rookie and I have a lot to learn." Pelicans GM David Griffin gave his own expectations of Zion. Take a listen.
And when we made the team, the trade that we made, or are working to complete rather, with a certain player who used to be here with Drew, we were very cognizant of the fact that this is Drew Holiday's team. Zion is going to be part of learning how to win at a really high level. And at some point, if there's a time that the baton gets passed in terms of who's expected to carry us to win games, it will. That's not now. Look, this is not somebody who's supposed to be the savior of this franchise. That's not what this is.
Drew Holiday's team. So, Shannon, how much pressure do you think is on Zion given what Griff just said?
Immense pressure. And that's some bull jive, David Griffin. You took a shot at AD, though. I don't like it. Now, I had a lot of respect for you because you built something special in Cleveland, but I refuse to sit up at this table and let you take shots at AD. Now, with that being said, hold on. How Zion Williams says, "Let's dance," and then in the same breath says, "Rome wasn't built in a day." Oh, no, bro. I ain't gonna let you get off like that, Skip Bayless. You know how this works, Skip Bayless. If you're selected with the #1 overall draft pick, regardless of the sport, football, basketball, hockey, baseball, it does not matter. You are considered a franchise-altering player.
Agreed.
Magic Johnson was selected #1 overall with a team that had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who already had 5 MVPs. He was thought of as a franchise-altering player. That's with Kareem with 5 MVPs.
They had not been able to win with Kareem. Go ahead.
He still had 5. Now, which guy on that roster is Kareem? Or which guy that's on that roster or just got drafted to that roster will be Kareem? Exactly my point. No, I don't want you to talk just yet. He has the most pressure.
You're lucky I'm not talking.
Skip, he has the most pressure on him since LeBron James.
Okay.
Skip, you know how this works.
I do.
You don't get to say, "Oh, we're gonna take it slow. It's not his team." The True Holiday, stop it. There's not no True Holiday team. This is Zion Williamson's team.
Okay.
He's the #1 overall pick. He's thought of as Magic Johnson. He's thought of as LeBron James. You're not bringing him in there to be a role player. Oh, we're filling out this roster. No, he is the roster. You're putting pieces around him. You ain't putting no pieces around True Holiday. You're putting pieces around him. So I'm sorry, Skip. Griff, I can't let you get off like that, bro. Talking about don't put no pressure. He's a rookie. And what's your point? Ain't nobody thinking about that when they get him all that hype. They wasn't talking about him like he was MJ in year 13 after he had won 6 finals and 5 MVPs. Nah, y'all gave him all this credit, all this hype beforehand. So guess what? He gonna bring it on to the NBA, and the pressure is immense. And he is expected to deliver New Orleans. You know.
Okay. I agree with every point you just made times 10. This is Magic pressure. This is LeBron pressure. This is Magic plus LeBron pressure. You can have all the pressure you want. This kid will handle it. He handled Duke pressure. It's pretty big pressure in college basketball.
No, he didn't. He ain't win no title.
Okay. Well,
he ain't win no title.
It wasn't his fault.
He
didn't have the ball in his hand.
It was his fault.
Put the ball in the other guy's hand, the overrated guy.
Was he on the team?
Yeah. He was there.
Okay.
He didn't get to shoot it in the clutch time. Every time he did, it went in, but that's okay. So, remember, again, this is not New York. This is New Orleans. No offense to New Orleans, but it's the second smallest TV market. So it's not like he's going to New York to be the face of the New York franchise. Okay, so he'll be just fine in that regard. But the surprise to me, the disappointment to me last night was from David Griffin. Not only that quote of, he's not the savior, because he's obviously going to be the savior.
Yeah.
You don't need to take pressure off him. You need to heap pressure on all of you to win now. I thought the strategy would be, let's maximize our chance to win as quickly as we can, right? at least to win soon. Maybe not now, but soon. And instead, David Griffin's strategy last night was, let's win later. Let's build it slowly but surely. Let's take our time. And it seemed like Zion was told to say, well, Rome wasn't built in a day. And I didn't want to hear that from him either.
No, after he just said, let's dance.
Okay, that's true, because those don't go together.
No, they don't.
Let's dance. I'm good with that.
Okay, let's dance. Let's go.
Well, I wanted David Griffin to dance last night, and yet he got a whole lot of Twitter credit just before the draft started for making the trade of the night. He fleeced Atlanta. He traded the number 4 overall pick that they obviously got from your Lakers for 3 other picks. And on just draft pick value, it was a steal, right? Just on pure pick value. But this is a little different game. It's not the NFL we're dealing with here. This is the NBA. One player can have a whole lot of more impact in this game than in your game.
You better believe it.
Unless it's maybe a quarterback, but you don't usually steal a quarterback like this. But here's the point. You have the number 4 overall pick, and you left it on the table. You left 2 players on the table, and again, Atlanta went right ahead and they traded up for DeAndre Hunter. I'm not going to say I love him, but I really like him. He's got all-star potential at 6'8", 3-and-D. He is a hellacious defender. He was the ACC Defensive Player of the Year, and he took over that national championship game that you and I talked about the next day. He terrorized Jared Culver. He took him out of everything he did. It made me lose respect for Jared Culver. I'm not sure about him, as great a kid as he is. But this kid can 3-and-D because he's a 42% three-point shooter. Did he not make clutch shots in that championship game?
They don't get closer to the biggest one he made.
So Atlanta ran to the podium to say, yes, we will do this trade. We'll give you these 3 picks because we want that young man.
Right.
So they got their man.
Right.
Well, are you sure he wouldn't fit in? Because he'd fit just fine in New Orleans.
Yes.
Would he become an instant starter for the Pelicans? Probably he would.
Right.
Would he be an all-star? I don't know. Maybe someday. Which brings me to my kid, Darius Garland. Vanderbilt University. The pro pipeline. Every time you turn around.
There ain't no pro pipeline.
Baseball draft, football draft. It's just Vandy, Vandy, Vandy. They're everywhere, right? J.J. Bleday was the 4th overall pick in the baseball draft.
Why y'all don't win any SEC titles then?
Huh? I don't know.
You do know. You keep talking about pipeline.
No, I shouldn't say that. I'm going to jinx my team. We are in the College World Series right now. That's all I'll say.
No, y'all don't.
We are 2-0. We're 2-0. What do you mean we're gone?
Y'all need to be gone.
We're in the catbird seat is where we are. We are catbirds.
Y'all need to be gone.
And we have won this championship before, and we've come in second before, so we dominate the sport of baseball, but that's a whole nother story. Back to Darius Garland. He's got some Kyrie in him, and I only got to see snippets of 5 games because he hurt his knee. And they weren't 5 quality opponents, so I can't defend him on that account. But I got to tell you, he is explosive. And he has got a 3-point stroke, and it is pure. It is Kyrie-esque at 6 feet 2 inches tall. He's a very special potential player. And they left him on the table for Cleveland to take. And Cleveland already said, well, we got a kid who plays that way. And they said, no, we got to take him because he's really, he's just too good. Okay, are you sure? Are you sure, New Orleans, that he wouldn't be better long-term than Jackson Hayes? I watched Jackson Hayes 4 or 5 times last year, and he did not catch my eye. I love his length. I love his height. He's 7 feet and like 7'3" long. I love his genetics because his mom was one of the greatest players in the history of Iowa basketball. She averaged 52 a game in high school, and she went to Drake and was Missouri Valley Player of the Year. And his father, Jonathan Hayes, you might remember, played your position for 12 years in the National Football League. He was a tight end, right?
Yeah.
For Chiefs and Steelers, and he is now the head coach of the new XFL team in St. Louis. So I love the genetics here. I love the combination. But Jackson Hayes averaged 10 points and 5 rebounds a game last year for Texas in his 1 year there, and they were a 500 team in the regular season. They lost to Kansas in the first round of the Big 12 Conference Tournament, in which he scored 2 points in that game. Then he hurt his knee and missed the NIT, which they won without him. So we are really projecting here on potential. We are really projecting because he'll block shots and then he'll drift and he'll disappear in games. 2 years ago, he was sitting on the bench for his high school team. He could not make the starting lineup just 2 years ago for Moeller High School in Cincinnati, Ohio. Just 2 years ago. Okay, so are you sure about that? If he turns into what you think his genetics might tell you, his parentage might tell you he would become, you got me. But I'm not sure about that because I just told you about those two other kids.
Yeah.
If you're talking win now, you're talking this. Then they go Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and he's the cousin of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who I love. And again, they're kind of the same type player, 6'5", 6'6", and yet he's more two-guard. I watched Virginia Tech maybe twice this year, and he did not catch my eye. I'm not sure. He looks like he could be a backup maybe to Drew Holiday. You sure that you traded out of the 4 pick? So are you going to – sometimes GMs say, boy, I got an embarrassment of riches here. Let's just kind of pull back on the gas here. Let's try to calm everybody down. Let's take it easy. Let's go slow but sure so we don't overdo it next year.
David Griffin knows.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter about these other picks. It only matters about one.
Okay.
The one he picked number 1
Okay.
overall.
Well, it matters to me at 4. I mean, I don't know.
But I know.
Okay.
But here's the thing why there's pressure, Skip. The guy goes by one name.
Yeah.
When they give you one name, you're special.
Okay, they don't give it to you,
No,
but it just happens. I know.
Thank you.
I got it.
Ronaldo,
I got it.
Messi, LeBron,
Yeah.
Mike, Magic, Zion.
Yeah. But
Pressure, and can he handle it? Because my guy been handling it for 17 years.
that is true. I agree. And this guy handled it for one. Because going into last year, RJ was the man, right?
Yeah.
But Zion quickly, after one game, became the man.
Yeah.
And he handled it just fine. He is built to last.
And Skip, you know basketball more than any sport will draft on potential. The guy's 6'10", ain't play a minute in college. Oh boy, right situation. It should be this, and this. Okay, we take him at first. We take him as a lottery pick. Marvin Williams, Skip, went number 2 overall. And he came off the bench at Carolina.
I agree. Nope, I got it. And he's been a nice player. Nice player.
But he ain't been
But
Chris
not
Paul or
like
Barrett
that. No,
Williams.
I agree. I agree.
To both your points,
okay.
David Griffin called him the population of 1.
I know. Okay. Final point. Quick point. New Orleans still has $30 million of cap room, so maybe he's going to spend it on a couple of veterans, maybe shoot the moon and try to land one other star. I don't know.
What you gonna do? You gonna let Drew Randall walk?
I don't know. That's a good point.
Drew Randall was a monster.
Yeah, he is a monster. Maybe.
Okay.
Well,
Pelicans extended Jahlil Okafor yesterday, but
They did?
question marks still
Oh, my
surrounding
goodness.
Julius Randle's future. All right, out of those top 3 picks last night, who will become the biggest star from this year's draft class?
well, that's a hard question.
It is
Stop.
a hard question.
It
Chris
is,
Broussard
really.
answers that question.
Really hard.
No mercy.
The top 3 picks in last night's NBA draft fell just as everyone expected. Zion Williamson going number 1 to the Pelicans, Ja Morant number 2 to the Grizzlies, and Zion's former Duke teammate RJ Barrett 3rd overall to the Knicks. We welcome in FS1 NBA analyst Chris Broussard. Chris, all right, Shannon thinks there's some question marks here. Skip does not. Who do you think will have the best career out of these 3?
Look, I like Ja Morant. I've heard people compare him to Russell Westbrook and even Steve Francis. I think those are lazy comparisons because he's shorter and athletic and can dunk over big guys. Outside of that, though, Ja Morant's a true point guard. Like, he can see the floor. He can run an offense. He's got great passing ability. He's different from those 2 guys. I like him. RJ Barrett, I think he'll be a scorer in the NBA. I hope I'm wrong, but I see a volume scorer, volume shooter, you know, puts up big numbers, maybe not on great teams. Hopefully I'm wrong about him and he becomes better than that. But I'm going with Zion as the best player of these 3. I see everything that he has. Like, first of all, he's got the intangibles. You could see last night, he was so comfortable in the spotlight. Like, he was smooth. He was just like, you know, like he had been there his whole life.
Style, though.
Well, he went with the white. I like that, too.
It's
like
cream.
Is it cream? So he wasn't.
It is cream.
Was he mimicking
Am I
LeBron?
right? Am I right? That is cream
That's
on
been another
white.
debate today.
Technically,
Cream on white.
Technically, Skip, you are correct.
Okay.
But you know.
LeBron's was what? Bright white?
White.
Bright white
And a
with
little
a
bag
white
here?
with a white tie.
Right.
This is a tuxedo shirt that he's wearing with an open collar. I don't think it's homage at all. Go ahead.
All right. Anyway, he's got the intangibles. He's got the work ethic, right? He's got this infectious joy about him when he plays.
Never seen anything like it.
Right.
Yep.
Defensively, LeBron, who became a tremendous defender, wasn't defending like this even his first couple years in the league. Like, he wants to defend. And then offensively, he can handle the basketball well enough. He's got pretty good court vision. People talk about his shot being broken. It's not broken. I mean, people talk about he can't shoot, but it's not broken. It's got a decent form. And look, he'll improve. He with his work ethic, he will work on his jump shot. Blake Griffin averaged less than 1 3-point attempt for his first 6 years in the league. He took 7 a game last year. So he can improve his
What did I keep
shot.
telling you when we were at ESPN about Blake Griffin at Oklahoma? He stayed 2 years. I watched every game he played. I never saw him make a shot over 3 feet at Oklahoma, and that's the God's truth. 3 feet.
Yep.
He had no shot.
And he probably didn't work on it earlier.
You know what? He's a pretty good three-point shooter.
Pulling up.
So Zion can become a good three-point shooter. He's got a quick first step. Today's NBA, the floor is so spread, he'll be able to get to the rim and finish over guys. We know they'll be running the break with Lonzo. But here's the thing people miss about Zion, and I think a lot of people that aren't sure about him, he's unique. He's different from the majority of today's young stars because the majority of today's young stars dominate the basketball. They grow up with the ball in their hands all the time. At Duke, he got 22 and 9 off the ball. R.J. Barrett had the ball, or Trey Jones had the ball. Like, he was off the ball. I love that because that'll make it easier to play with other guys. I think he'll be able to fit into a system. He won't have to dominate the system. And so I think that's what's throwing some people off. Like, oh, we're used to seeing, the number one guy always have the ball and create for everybody else. He doesn't have to do that. That's almost like an old school guy, and I like that about him. So I think Zion's going to be the best guy.
I went with Ja because I like his game. I mean, I love all the guys' game. Everybody has something they can do really well. I agree with you. R.J. Barrett can put the ball in the basket, but I just think it's going to take volume shots in order for him to do that at the level that the Knicks fans are. That's a shame. The Knicks, if you didn't know better, boy, you swear the Knicks had drafted like Jordan or somebody like that. Even Spike Lee was in attendance. Spike Lee was hugging and taking. I'm like, come on, Spike. This
could be their best news of the summer.
This is what they reduced Spike Lee to. Getting R.J. Barrett, and probably that's it, and he's excited about that. But when I look at Ja Morant, I love how he lets the game come to him. If he needs to score 20, I'll get you 20. You need 30, 35, I'll get you that too. But you might need 15 assists. The game comes to him. I'm not so sure R.J. Barrett ever did that. Because it seems like when Zion started getting it going, he's like, oh, y'all talking about him too much. I hear you over there, Dickie V. I hear you over there, guys, talking about Zion. True. Let me get a couple of threes. Let me go to the basket and show you what I can do.
No, let me miss a couple of threes.
that too, Skip. For me, I'm looking at Zion. I'm looking at his shot chart. He made 79. Basically, he made 80% of his shots in the restricted area. Outside the restricted area, it was 37. Now, I know a guy that was supposed to, he's probably going to win the MVP because Chris Broussard voted for him. And Chris always, he's the godfather when it comes to this voting thing. He knows it. But the other team that won the title, they built a fort around the restricted area. They wouldn't let him in there. And every time he tried to come, Skip, you said they had Kawhi. Oh, Claw, you really didn't need no help. But he said, okay, just in case.
He had the times 3 help.
Then you had big Mark Gasol, you had Serge Ibaka, you had Siakam sometimes. They just had this standing at attention like.
You got shot blockers galore right there, 3 of them.
Like trying to get in the Buckingham Palace. The guy was just standing out there at attention, wouldn't let him in there.
That is correct.
Well, we're going to see Zion got to develop a jump shot.
Okay. All right.
That set shot he be shooting from the 3, that ain't going to fly. Because just like he threw that guy from Virginia in the stands, they'll be throwing that in the stands.
What big man shoots a jump shot from 3? They all shoot set.
Lot of them. Lot of them. AD. Lot of them.
He'll take it more than Giannis will. Like, he's not where Giannis or Ben Simmons is way worse.
Yeah.
He's not that bad.
And plus, but Ja Morant is a freaky athlete. I mean, he is freakish. He's in that Russell Westbrook cloth, but he can shoot the ball better than Russ. Russ can only dream of shooting. He's a 50% from the floor guy. Russ is never shooting 50% from the floor. 34% career from three-point line. This kid shot 36%, although the college line was a little shorter. And I don't want to get too hung up on the college three-point line because I know a guy shot 41% in college and barely can shoot 30% right now in the NBA. We ain't going to talk about the guy that's in New Orleans right now. But you know
it's time to make clutch threes, he makes clutch threes.
Well, how about clutch free throws? Can he make those? But anyway, I'm going with
Let's see what he does in New Orleans next year.
I'm going to take Ja Morant. And plus, again, Skip, he's 285 at 18. What's he going to be at 25?
The New Orleans should already have him a nutritionist. Really. He'll get that baby fat, get a lot of that baby fat.
He got to stay
like
with
Barkley. Barkley slimmed down a little when he got to the NBA.
Well, he slimmed down to he slimmed down to 270.
Barkley?
Yeah. So he better stay away from Commander's Palace eating shrimp and grits. Not what I heard he had.
That is true. I give you that. Shannon Sharpe.
What?
Once again, you are barking up the wrong tree, or in this case, should I say sapling, because this is a sapling you're barking up. I've told you before, I love Ja's game when he has the ball in his hands. Love it. I told you after the Marquette game in the NCAAs, never seen anything like this. He is an ambidextrous passer. He's just as good left-handed as right-handed to the point I watch him and I forget, wait, is he left-handed? No, he's right-handed, but he plays left-handed just as well as right. Special stuff. I'm concerned about the shot because he has no jump shot at 6'2", and when you go up a level into the next league, as we saw happen to Trae Young, you start having issues because you have to start shooting it farther and farther out there because Trae Young shoots a set shot. He has no jump shot either. It's feet on the floor set shot.
He got 49 against Chicago, shooting
right.
that set shot.
Okay, but again, can you win with
Trae
that?
Came on.
I don't know. He also got a shot blocked more than any point guard. He just got blocked. The Spurs blocked 8 shots one night at Atlanta. They blocked him 8 times in one game.
Well, I mean, come on, Skip.
Okay,
I mean,
I'm just saying, if that's part of your repertoire, feet on the floor can be blocked at the next level. He doesn't have a big rise up and jump shot like Steph has or any Clay or any of those guys. So the other problem with Ja Morant is in the games I watched, he played little to no defense. It's an afterthought to him. Meanwhile, the other guy we're talking about, Zion, is going to win, to me, multiple Defensive Player of the Year awards in the NBA. That's how good that's how dominating he is on defense. I haven't started on the offense, just on that alone. I'm taking Zion just on the defensive end because if I like Ja, but he referred to himself as a point god. Point god. And it's not that wise when you haven't dribbled one dribble in that league to say that.
I do agree.
And then you're gonna have to defend the Westbrooks and defend the Stephs and defend the Mike Conley Juniors for what it's worth. And it's hard, man, because every night you go out there and somebody's
Kyrie's,
wanting to. I can just go on and on.
Just in the West.
Just in the West. Because they're going to want to torch you. Lonzo had to go through this, but it wasn't Lonzo's fault. It was his father's fault, right? And Lonzo can defend at a high level. So he started to figure it out very quickly. So now let's go back to Zion. Zion's everything Chris said. He's a dominating force without a dominating ego. And we haven't seen that in a long time. His teammates love him because he is unselfish to a fault. Now let's go to RJ. RJ averaged 18 shots a game to Zion's 13 shots a game. Think about that. And in conference play, it was 19-12. So RJ Barrett is overrated to me. And I hate to say this for Knicks fans because he's a classic Knicks pick where you get overexcited about a guy who's a poor man's Carmelo Anthony. He's a high-volume shooter who doesn't make that many shots. He's a 31% three-point shooter, and he shoots a whole bunch of threes. And again, every time I saw Zion in a clutch situation, he made a clutch shot. Every time. He didn't get the ball that much, but the other guy only missed in clutch situations. We talked earlier about the 3 big games, Gonzaga at Maui, then North Carolina in the ACC tournament, then Michigan State in the NCAAs. Down the stretch, I don't want to go back into the gory detail, RJ just disappeared. He didn't disappear. No, that's not true. He just shot and missed in those games like crazy.
He made Duke disappear.
Wanted it. He wanted it. He just didn't deliver.
He just didn't deliver. And Zion would get one shot and make it. And it counted against North Carolina because it was the winning putback shot. But then down the stretch of that game, they foul RJ and send him to the free throw line to clinch it. It would have made it a 3-point game. And he misses both of them. And he missed the free throw against Michigan State that would have tied the game, right? And in the game at Maui, he's trending all afternoon because he took 4 shots in the last 141 of that game and missed all 4 of them. And it's like, give Zion a chance because Zion he'll cash, man.
Well, we got to play what, Skip, like I said, I'm not going to judge. Look, Coach K is a great coach. Who am I to question him? But for some reason, even though Zion kept coming up, RJ Barrett kept coming up empty at the end of the game, they kept putting the ball in
They
his
did.
hand.
I
They
agree.
keep doing that for a reason, Chris Broussard. They're trying to tell you something, but you don't want to listen to them and hear it.
Okay. Well, maybe the Knicks should be listening. I don't know.
Well, he was getting ready to prepare the Knicks what he is. 18, 19 shots, he'll fit in perfect in the NBA.
Okay.
Well, look, what the Knicks may have to, if they don't get KD and Kyrie or Kemba
that
or whoever,
changes everything.
right?
Yeah.
Then they need to hope this kid becomes special and build around him.
Yep.
He's their future. If they don't get, Durant, that's what it's going to have to be.
Last point, to your Giannis point, building the wall.
Yeah.
Can Zion knock down the wall? Yes,
Charge,
he
he fouled him out.
Zion won't be as predictable.
Okay,
as
that is
Giannis
true.
was.
He's quicker than Giannis. He got a quicker first step than Giannis to me. Plus, as they say, light in the rear end. Giannis is a little light in the rear end. This kid is
But
not.
you see them shoulders?
Hey.
The more bold and long shoulders?
Giannis, he's either coming down as a point guard or he's posting.
Yep.
Zion will be, that's the benefit of being off the ball. It won't be all on him to create his own
He
shot.
can Euro step. We can
Especially
Euro.
in New Orleans.
Oh, Giannis
And-
can Euro step from half court and
and-
dunk it on you.
When you weigh 285 and you run into those mountain men in the lane, you just knock them out of the way. He was knocking kids out of the way. And those kids,
them grown
we'll
men at
see.
that next level, they grown men.
We'll see.
They pay.
There's some
See,
grown
see,
men
they ain't.
gonna-
See,
Hey.
they not
dunked
going.
on.
Hey,
Some grown men going to get dunked on.
hey, this is a
Oh,
grown
they
man
gonna
body.
get you too.
He's got a grown man body already.
Hey, Skip, you do know the difference between college and NBA. They play for mortgages up here.
Okay.
There ain't no books and tuition in the heat of the training table.
Yeah.
They play for mortgages and private school tuition for kids.
Okay.
Get that nutrition.
We got to leave this one here, guys, because we got
Veggie
more
po'
coming
boys.
up.
Veggie po' boys.
Chris, we
Okay,
hope you
Veggie.
stick around with us. Stay for one more segment. Should LeBron give advice to Zion? That's what we'll discuss next.
No mercy.
Zion Williamson was the first pick in the draft, which only adds to the hype and the pressure on his shoulders. We can say the same about LeBron when he came into the league. Last night, Zion talked about reaching out to the King for some words of wisdom. Take a listen.
I probably will hit him up. Hopefully he responds to me. But my questions would probably be like, what do I have to do to maintain? Like, what do I have to do to just try to make my way to the top?
Great questions. Chris, you're still with us this morning. What would you do if you were LeBron? Would you give him advice?
First of all, no matter how you feel about this question, how you're going to answer it, we know LeBron will give him advice. There is no doubt in my mind.
Why is that?
That's just how LeBron is. LeBron would give and has given Kevin Durant or Kawhi Leonard advice. If they call him tomorrow or maybe later today, he will advise them. That's just who he is. When LeBron, before he won championships, I remember seeing Kevin Durant in high school in the locker room when the Cavs are playing at Washington.
Yep.
And, I mean, that's just how LeBron is. And I know he doesn't view Zion. Now, he'll get him on the court and he'll go at him and all that. But he doesn't really view him as competition
Put that thing on him.
for me, right? He views him more as a protege, as a mentee, I believe. So he will give him advice. Should he? Yeah, I think he should as well. And I told this to Rich Paul. When he blew out his sneaker, Zion, remember how Jordan in the second three-peat in Chicago, so he's still in his prime, still the best player in the world, all that, had Jordan brand athletes, Ray Allen, Michael Finley, Derek Anderson, all those guys. I said Zion should be the first LeBron brand athlete.
Okay.
Because, he's huge physically. He's
sturdy.
explosive. He should wear a sturdy, heavy shoe like LeBron does. I thought he would have been perfect. Obviously, for some reason, that hasn't happened. But I think that he should be under LeBron. However, LeBron should give him advice. I think he could talk to him about how to control your narrative, how to stay out of trouble in this age of social media. LeBron amazingly has had no issues with that. How to control
It
your
is amazing.
control your own.
No, there you go. There you go.
See?
But we know if social
Smirking.
media had been around,
Right.
if we know you keep your mouth shut on that one, but if
We know.
Yeah, exactly.
There would have been some smoke, some stuff, some fire.
Yeah.
But control your own destiny. And I would tell him, I know he'll tell him, don't let another team or executives control your destiny. You control yourself. And don't let LeBron James control your destiny. You control your own destiny. Obviously, get a nutritionist, eat right, all that. Work hard. I think he'll give him great advice.
Head down, butt up, ears closed.
Is that it?
That's what you do.
So what are you going to tell him?
Yeah, you go ahead. I want you to follow up, Chris, because you're a hater anyway. Hating on Braun.
A truth teller? You know, everything you just said is why LeBron will never be MJ. And you can say for better or for worse, but he just won't.
They're different, no question.
He's just built different. And it hinders LeBron to a degree as a basketball player, as a big-time championship winner, because the other guy was just a cold-blooded killer. He just was. He was the all-time assassin. And it sounds, you know, it sounds bad now. It sounds wrong, but it wasn't wrong when he was doing it because it just worked. And he went 6-0 in finals with 6 MVPs because that's the way he was built. Is he a nice guy? No, I wouldn't go that far. No, I was around him a lot. I know what he was.
Yeah.
And I loved watching him.
Is.
I didn't love being around him because you can't. You just can't.
Competitive in everything.
Like in everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
So let's get down to what just transpired. The truth is, in a vacuum, LeBron owes him nothing. In fact, you can make a case he owes him less than nothing because LeBron and Rich Paul clearly tried to recruit him. They gave this young man an opportunity to have LeBron at his complete disposal every second of every day. Pick up the phone and call your mentor, right? Your chief advisor, your godfather, your big brother, whatever you want to call him. He could have been this role because you could have become a Clutch Sports client. AD client, AD open line of communication to LeBron. And I'm sure it served him very well. It's how he navigated his way out of New Orleans to LA. But in this case, man, this guy, he said no to Clutch Sports. In the end, he and his mom and his stepfather finally decided we're going with CAA. Well, that's a big deal. That's a big, bad decision that you made. So that's why you heard Zion say last night, hopefully he responds to me. And he's thinking, I know I set this bridge on fire. I know I said no to them.
We're bigger than that.
Okay, well, you can make that case, and I get it. But LeBron also has this gear in him, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Like he wants everybody to be his friend so that they won't be his enemy, right? It sort of mitigates how you feel about somebody on the court. Maybe you don't go as hard at LeBron because you're friends with LeBron.
Right.
And he's pretty crafty at that. He's a shrewd operator. Remember, he took Kevin Durant under his wing early, and then lo and behold, they face up in the finals in 2012. Remember that? And Kevin just wasn't ready for that because he's looking up to LeBron.
No, it wasn't. His man dropped 30.
Okay.
He averaged 30 a game. He ain't even looking up to LeBron. LeBron just had the
LeBron
better.
just schooled him.
Jordan
just took
used
him
to
down
do
low.
that too.
I know with Barkley.
Right,
I know.
take him out
I
the
got
game.
it. I got it. But again, Barkley for Jordan was like a court jester in the group. They'd go out, like it just made everybody laugh. But the respect level on the basketball court, I don't think Michael had great respect for Charles. I just don't.
Skip, look here. I think the thing is that Zion understands there's only one player that's playing, understands what he's going through. That's LeBron. Now, LeBron navigated through this. Social media was in its infancy. A lot of this social media, Twitter and Facebook and Facebook and IG, they didn't come to a B until LeBron was in the NBA. Now it's a different dynamic, but LeBron is still, even when social media is full bore, LeBron has somehow found a way to navigate his way through this, through all the arrows and knives that's been hurled in his direction.
He's the best.
He's Neo. Right. He's dodging them all. He's dodging them all. They can't make anything
That
stick.
is true.
See,
He's the best ever at that.
The thing that I like most, one of the best things that a person can do, and let's take it at sports and athletes, is to know what you don't know. What Zion doesn't know, LeBron can help him understand. So why wouldn't you reach out? LeBron is big. LeBron's like, this guy is no threat to LeBron's legacy of greatness. LeBron is great. It's just like when people got upset when LeBron came to LA, he can't do anything with what Kobe and Shaq and all the Laker greats have already accomplished. He can do nothing. Zion can't do anything to LeBron James. And I think LeBron James being the person that he is, going to help him understand, yes, you want to be as bigger. You are a brand now. Zion Williamson is a brand. He is a business in and of himself. Now, LeBron took it a step further. LeBron says, yes, I want to be a brand, but I want to be a brand that be in ownership.
Right.
I want to have a production company. I want to own businesses because his goal is kind of like Michael's. He wants to own a team.
Yep.
He's made that abundantly clear. Everybody's not going to have that ability, Skip, because what it seems to be looking like to me, if you want any part of a team, it's going to cost you, even majority, it's going to cost you $1 billion. So somehow you got to get to that number. LeBron's going to get to that number. He's probably worth $600, $700 million right now as we're sitting on it.
You got a shot?
Yeah, so he's going to get there. So for me, it was a no-brainer for for Zion to want to reach out. And LeBron, look, sure, I'm sure he would have loved for Zion to sign with Clutch and Rich because they believe they could have done great things. But that's not going to stop LeBron from being the great person that he is. Never.
Here's the other thing, Skip, and I'm not saying this will be an ulterior motive, but he's not with Clutch now. Okay, a lot of these agents, it's not just about getting you for the first contract, which is a rookie deal.
Yeah, you want that big
that
one.
much.
You want that
It's
max.
the next contract or maybe the next one after that. Anthony Davis wasn't with Clutch. You know, so Draymond Green just signed with Clutch. So down the road,
John Wall signed with
when
Clutch.
Zion does start to see what he doesn't know and see how well LeBron and some of those other Clutch athletes maneuver, he may end up with them. So they're not going to burn that bridge.
I have to defend my agency, and I think it's yours.
Mine too, yeah.
CAA, because I think they're the best.
They do a great job.
I don't think anybody's going to, I wouldn't be leaving CAA anytime soon.
People do it all the time. People do it.
But you know, these agents are cutthroat, all right? And these players switch agents all the Aaron Goodwin at one time had LeBron, Kevin Durant, and Dwight Howard all at once.
Yep.
And now none of them are with him. So that's how this game
That's
is.
how you do it.
I'm going to save you from yourselves before you start giving away too much about your personal agent details. Chris, thanks for being with us, and have a great weekend. Coming up next, we're discussing Shannon's Lakers. Do they have enough money left to build around LeBron? AD?
Well,
That's up next.
Got plenty of money.
No mercy.
All right, so the Lakers traded for Anthony Davis, but they are not avoiding criticism. ESPN reports the Lakers did not prioritize creating cap space after agreeing to the AD trade. LA actually called the Pelicans back to try to rework the deal. Lakers GM Rob Pelinka could have created about $32 million in cap space for a max player if he'd negotiated that the deal close on July 30th. As it stands, though, the Lakers have just over $23 million in cap space. We are joined by Bleacher Report senior writer Rick Bucher. Rick, how much better can the Lakers get this summer given the financial situation?
Much better.
Much.
What the Toronto Raptors demonstrates, and by the way, can we not say they didn't prioritize it? They miscalculated. They didn't do the math. That's what happened. Not that somehow we didn't put the right emphasis on it.
on the cap.
They screwed up,
Okay.
right?
Right.
Their calculator did not work.
Right.
That said, the Toronto Raptors demonstrated to us that this model of a big three or a top-heavy team is not necessarily the model for winning a championship. It's not a necessary one. Let's put it that way. Kawhi Leonard and the Toronto Raptors demonstrated that.
But it has some unforeseen circumstances, Rick. Now, come on now. We think that the champ, with KD not injured and Clay healthy, do we believe Toronto is the champ? And then that model is out the window.
Okay, but would you say that you had the Philadelphia 76ers as a top-heavy team in terms of superstardom?
If Embiid is not sick and hurt,
right.
Philly's going to win that series.
Okay, so I'm not so sure about that.
Okay.
Because here's the thing that we've seen with the way the game is played. Injuries and guys breaking down is now part of
that equation.
The game. It's part of the equation. So your depth and versatility, honestly, even with the Warriors, as much as we think about them being superstar heavy, what has made them a dynasty is the fact that they had depth and versatility, and that those pieces, those top pieces, Steph Curry is not your traditional superstar. Draymond Green, Klay Thompson wouldn't be as good elsewhere. Those pieces fit and they supported each other, but ultimately it was the Andre Iguodalas and the Sean Livingstons when he could still play. That's what made them distinctive. The Lakers have the opportunity to set up the same thing. Yes, they don't have enough for another max player, but they have enough to go pick off guys that are quality role players elsewhere. And Al Farouk Amino, for example. You're looking at teams that are capped out, that have quality players that maybe you can give them a little bit more money that's a little too rich for that other team. And now you're not only taking a piece away from them, but you're giving yourself depth and versatility. Bottom line is, Lakers have enough star power now. It's a matter of, can you shrewdly pick up the veterans who have already made their money, the Trevor Arizas, the DeMarre Carrolls, the guys who maybe they'll just come along to try to win a ring, and then find those mid-range guys that are making $6-7 million. If I offer them 10 or 11, is that going to be enough to join the band? That, to me, is how they put together something that is going to be even better than they are right now.
Yeah, J.J. Redick, Terrence Moore.
You can put that to bed. J.J. Redick is so settled in with his family, and
He
the
was
fact that
settled in L.A.
They allow him to commute from Brooklyn to Philadelphia. They love him, and he loves him. His part in the chemistry of that locker room, I don't see any way
Shannon.
he's going to upend his.
Next.
You know what, Skip Bayless?
Who's next on your list?
I like
Green?
Terrence Ross,
You want
Pat
Darren
Beverly,
Green? You can have it.
Jeremy Lamb, Seth Curry. You know,
Okay, you
Marcus
can
Smart.
have 'em.
But anyway, here's the thing. You can say, well, we didn't prioritize or we miscalculated. We still got the house. We might have overpaid for it, but guess what? We still living in the house. We have Anthony Davis. And there is not another tandem that will start the 2019 NBA season that's better than what we have, Rick Bucher.
Okay.
Can you say that?
It's a rental, not a purchase, though. This is what scares me. They better get it done this year or next year.
We getting it done.
After that,
both.
David Griffin is now the GM of both the New Orleans Pelicans and the Los Angeles Lakers because he controls the future of the Los Angeles Lakers draft-wise.
All we got to do is win the title, and we don't care about them draft picks that they gave up. Do you remember who Kareem was traded for? To Milwaukee? No, you don't, because he won titles with the Lakers. Do you remember that? Of course you don't.
Wasn't it Junior Bridgman?
I was going to say, that's a good call.
Junior Bridgman is one of the biggest businessmen.
He is.
I think he owns almost 200 Wendy's and a lot of other.
He does.
Yeah. So he did well for himself outside of
So
that.
he's a Hall of Famer off the floor.
He
right?
is.
Yeah.
I guess we should have went with that because he did real well. But Skip, look, they have Anthony Davis. You can put pieces around.
Yep.
If we can get Kawhi, you're going to luxury tax for Kawhi. You might not have, you got $23 million. If Kawhi needs 35, whatever he needs, you pay it, you go into luxury tax because you are sure, you guaranteed.
This is the one issue with Kawhi and the possibility. I know that the Lakers think that they have a strong shot at getting him. I did a piece at the beginning of the year, the yin and yang of playing with LeBron. And I talked to Kawhi about that. And he said, I don't want to play with LeBron. I want to compete against LeBron. He's beaten me in the finals once. I've beaten him in the finals once. That's sort of the way
No, take that back. You didn't beat him. You were the fourth option. Stop saying you beat. You ain't no you. The Spurs beat. The Spurs. Kawhi
Now you're coming around to my side of the table.
But he did.
Thank you.
He did win the finals.
He was the finals MVP.
He was.
So
I don't know how, but he was.
Yeah, he was.
I don't know how.
Well, you know what? You know what? I'm gonna take the Fred VanVleet approach.
Okay.
Kawhi, you can come join us, or we gonna kick your ass when you go somewhere else. The choice is yours, Kawhi. I'm giving you the opportunity to stay away from these headaches because we're gonna give a bunch of people headaches, mainly you.
Interesting. So back to your first point. This is bizarre to me and ironic that Rob Pelinka committed what to me is a fireable offense. He just completely miscalculated. It's so bad that it's laughably bad. They're back to laughingstock Lakers. You screwed up everything. You could have done 1,000 things to maximize your cap space, and maybe you would have a shot at number 2.
Right.
But you didn't, and you didn't even address that there's a $4 million trade kicker on AD's contract that you could have dispensed with if you say, hey, AD, think about this, but you got to get it all. You got to clear those decks to start
Gotta have
with.
it buttoned up.
You can't do it post-trade after you've announced the trade.
Yep.
So, but to your point, I'm going to give you this one. You still got the house.
Yep.
You still bought the house. It's got all kinds of flaws in it. And I don't know about the backyard because you don't have any grass in the backyard right now.
There's no flaws in the house, Skip. It's just a problem that we got to make up the mortgage. We miscalculated the bonus that we were going to get.
All right. Now, I got to make one quick point about the Raptors because they weren't a bunch of spare parts. Gasol was a former Defensive Player of the Year, and that was not a good move. That was a great move at the trade deadline. That made them what they were. Not that number 2 wasn't great, but Siakam was already on the verge of stardom. He's going to be probably the most improved player in the league by vote this year.
Sure.
And Kyle Lowry, he was a 5-time All-Star. He's not a spare part. And he came up big a couple of times in the finals.
Fred VanVleet.
Okay? Fred VanVleet was already established as their closer. He already was last year. Their coach was Coach of the Year and got fired last year because they were a good team, right?
I'm so glad you brought that
All
up
right.
because that's the one big hole in this argument that the Lakers are on their way. And trust me, I've just talked to GMs over the last couple of days, and they're all jumping on the wagon. They're going to be Western Conference champions.
Western Conference champion. You heard that, Skip? You want a T-shirt right now?
But here's the issue. You have LeBron James coming off a significant injury for the first time.
Yep.
We know Anthony Davis is injury prone.
He is.
You can't have any of that. Those guys have to be solid all year round.
Oh, yeah, we will.
Then if you're going to go and get the Trevor Arizas and the 30-something guys that have the experience and the basketball IQ to play with LeBron, you got to make sure that you find a way to keep them healthy. And then with this whole bouillabaisse, you need Frank Vogel to be able to keep everybody on the same page and get LeBron James to allow you to coach this team. And that is the big question that I have because...
And meanwhile, quickly, looking over his shoulder is Jason Kidd and Lionel Hollins, two former head coaches who are probably better than Frank Vogel. I don't know.
And you could have just had Ty Lue and everything and been rolling.
Okay, you could have.
Lakers have the opportunity. They gave themselves a shot where they didn't have one before. But there are still at least a half a dozen hurdles that make me say, not so fast.
I'm not so fast, Shannon. I got to see what they can pull together here.
I happen to be a great hurdler, so
Yeah.
we good.
Well,
we're going to clear them easy.
If Rob Pelinka had played the cards as any GM would have played them, you could have number 2 on your team.
Skip, we miscalculated.
Okay, all right.
Well, a lot of
But we
these
still got the
questions will
house.
get answered in free agency, which we're going to talk about next. Rick, we hope you'll hang with us for one more segment as we get into that. Free agency less than 10 days away. Where is Kawhi going? We'll discuss that specifically up next.
No mercy.
The last week has been pretty sweet for King of the North, Kawhi Leonard. Last night, he got a standing ovation in Toronto at the Blue Jays game. No real surprise here. The entire city of Toronto wants Kawhi to re-sign with the Raptors. However, Woj reporting the Claw will likely take a meeting with the Sixers, which is a surprise. And that's in addition to the Clippers, Knicks, and Nets. We're joined once again by Rick Bucher. Rick, where do you predict Kawhi ends up?
I still have him ending up with the Clippers. Now, it's become a little more problematic because you're taking KD out of the equation. He's no longer on the list with the Clippers because they're in go mode now. What Kawhi Leonard learned this year was trying to win it as the lone guy or as the top guy. And I agree with you in that he had a lot of help and a lot of depth, but nonetheless, the lone true superstar. Does he want to do that again? And if he's going to the Clippers, who else is joining me? And who else can carry the weight?
Nobody.
How do you know that?
Nobody.
Well, you wish.
Oh, you want Jimmy Buckets?
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe.
So that's the question is, who's that second guy that ultimately Kawhi is going to say, if you get him, I'm in? And that's going to be the challenge here. I'm told that the Toronto Raptors have a fighting chance of being able to retain him.
I told you that, Gip.
Yeah.
Most of this intel that I have is from the other side of the equation. What Kawhi is actually thinking and what his preference list is, we're not getting a whole lot from that side. The Knicks expect that they're going to have a sit down. The Sixers, and that I've heard has more to do with Uncle Dennis, who lives nearby,
He lives
adding
near.
another one to the
He actually lives nearer to
pool.
the Sixers than to the 2 New York teams.
Exactly. So the Knicks believe that they're going to get at least the opportunity to present their case. But when I look at where ultimately, going back to where Kawhi's from, what he wanted, what he's used to climate-wise, and that the Clippers have a lot of young talent that's already been to the playoffs once, I see that as ultimately being the place that he ends up.
I still said it, and Skip, we talked about this I think Monday or Tuesday, and I believe it's 60-40. He goes back to Toronto. Maybe he does a 2-1. Maybe he does a 1-1. Because all these guys have at least one more year on their contract, Skip, so they can stay. They can try and run it back and see what happens. He can say, okay, and then he can sign a bigger deal and go elsewhere. I just think that he has a really good situation in Toronto. He knows whatever. Kawhi, you don't want to play back-to-backs, no problem. You want Uncle Dennis to have access. You want him to get on the plane, no problem. You want some of your boys to be able to come and have access, no problem. They rolled out whatever kind of color carpet you want to name, red, blue, green, it doesn't matter. They rolled it out for him. He knows what he has at Toronto.
Yep.
Man, this kid to go somewhere else, I mean, they can say that, but are they going to look at you funny? Toronto never blinked an eye when he says, it's a little tight here tonight. They didn't bat an eye. Are the Clippers going to be that way? Is any other team going to be as forgiving to say, nah, bro, you just go ahead and load management 22 times? Are they going to be that kind of friendly? And you've already done it. I mean, you're king. Canada, I know its prime minister is the chief figure there, Trudeau. But Kawhi bigger than he is right now, and he's absorbing it. He loving it, every second of it.
Ace in the hole, Alex McKechnie. He's the guy that has taken care of him from a physical standpoint. And Kawhi believes in him. From day one, those two have been together. He's been the one who's handled keeping him right. And he was with the Lakers at one time, very well reputed. That's the guy that you don't hear a name, don't hear his name a whole lot. He's an important part of this equation.
Yet after Game 5 against Philly, it was reported he was sitting by his locker, just yelling to nobody, "My knee hurts. My knee hurts." And you kept saying it's a big issue, big concern.
It was.
I don't know. He didn't keep that out.
Yeah, you saw him limping on some occasion.
He limped.
Limped all the way to Finals MVP.
But he didn't limp in the finals. But he limped.
He did, Skip. You saw it.
Sixers. And to me, the ultimate disrespect would be to go to the Sixers. It just would. And I believe what you said is true. I believe this is Uncle Dennis's plan and design. He took over all the finances, all the business dealings for this still young man. And everything Uncle Dennis wants, that it's why he left San Antonio. Everything was orchestrated by Uncle Dennis to get out of San Antonio.
You could have made it move, give him a max, and let him sit.
Okay. But he wouldn't play. So
he was hurt.
He just quit.
He was hurt.
So the point is, now this would be the ultimate shot at the Toronto fans if you go to a conference rival, because I know people thought Milwaukee because they won the most games, but the team is Philadelphia. And I still say if Embiid hadn't been sick and hurt, Philly would have won that series, and we might be talking about Philly being the NBA champs. Right. But Embiid would have to be 100% right, and he never was even close to 100%. So to even think about going there to take a meeting with them is just the ultimate shot at Raptors fans. And I thought it was a small shot yesterday that he shows up 3 days after the parade. He's still in Toronto. That's the good news. And he goes to a Blues Jays game. And what does he do? He's taking self-video of the superstar on the visiting team, Mike Trout.
Yeah, greatness like greatness.
Who plays for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Aha!
Why you do that? Now, we've seen great performances by other great players in other sports, and the great players from those other sports are, when Tom Brady has a big game, LeBron James, other players, GOAT. When LeBron James played well, GOAT. When baseball players, now all of a sudden you try to take it way over there and talk about, see, that's what he's doing. Well, he's charting a course to L.A. No, he's not.
LeBron, once upon a time, wore his Yankees cap to an Indians playoff game.
Well, he a fan.
Talk about disrespect.
He a fan.
Okay? He grew up in Akron, Ohio. So? You have to have a little bit of respect for...
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
Hold on.
Don't wear your cap. Don't wear your Yankees cap and go sit in the stands.
Just because he's not from New York doesn't mean he could be a Yankees fan. Because the Yankees had a fan in rural South Georgia. That would be moi. So.
Okay. LeBron even wore an Emmitt Smith jersey on the sideline pregame at a Browns game.
Oh, you got no problem with that, huh?
How do you do that?
Easy. Because you LeBron James.
What are you
your favorite team.
What are you thinking?
I got to roll with Skip on this. No. LeBron is one of the all-time front runners ever when it comes to who his allegiance is with.
Cowboys? Yankees, Cowboys?
Hold on. When the last time the Cowboys won anything?
Well, they got a bunch of trophies in Jerry's office.
Yeah,
they got 5 of them.
They had some before Jerry got there. Yeah. But what have they got in the last 25 years?
Well, what have they done in LeBron's childhood time? That's
exactly
what got him.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Well, they won 1. Yeah. He was 11.
Okay. All right. So I'm with you. I'm still leaning Clippers, but it's going to depend on who is the other, who's the co-star, and I'm not sure about that.
Yeah. No. Is a Kemba Walker enough? Is a Al Horford enough? Is Jimmy Butler
Why y'all keep talking about Al Horford? Y'all talk about Al Horford like he's Tim Duncan. Al Horford was 13-6. He's basically a 15-6, 15-7 guy. And people, Al Horford's not changing anybody's life.
You can win with Al Horford.
Win what? 60 games and get swept like they did in Atlanta?
You know what you can do? You can get to Game 7 of the conference finals against LeBron.
And take an L.
Okay, and then but you got there.
And where'd you get you last year? Yeah. That same, was Al Horford, was he playing last year?
It's in the eye of the beholder as far as Kawhi or who that other star is going to be. That's going to be the determinant.
Well, can we stop saying Al Horford is not a star. He's a good player. He's not a star. He's a good player.
But in the same vein that we talked about the Toronto Raptors, Marc Gasol, Pascal Siakam, players that are good and intangible when it comes to winning championships. Al Horford is in that mix.
Yep.
Can be vital to a team winning a championship. There's a lot of the ins and outs of what Al Horford doesn't show up in the box score.
Well, I need him to show up. Because guess what's showing up in his bank account? $33 million. That's showing up in his bank account. So I need his stats to show up. And see, can we stop this? Oh, Toronto won without a lottery pick. You take an isolated incident and to just wipe away 50 years of NBA Finals. Come on, don't do that. That's an isolated incident. That's happened one time in 50 NBA Finals, and now we said, well, that's the way to go about it. Really?
There've been other teams that have
not without a lottery pick.
Won collectively, yes, not in their prime.
Yeah.
Dallas Mavericks when they won,
but they had a lottery. Chauncey won with but he was a lottery.
All right, gentlemen, great stuff. We have to leave it here because we've got Rick for one more segment. Free agency does start 6 p.m. June 30th.
June 30th.
So we will find out some answers then. All right, up next with Rick, does anyone want Kyrie Irving on
That's
their
a
team?
good question.
It is a good question.
Oh, the closer? Don't nobody want the closer?
No mercy.
Kyrie Irving was expected to be one of the top prizes of free agency, but maybe not anymore. The New York Post reports the Nets are having second thoughts about signing Kyrie if Kevin Durant doesn't come with them to Brooklyn. Reportedly, other teams also backing off their pursuit of Kyrie after a messy season, shall we say, in Boston, where he had issues with teammates and coaches alike. Rick Bucher still rolling with us this morning. Rick, give us your prediction. How does this play out with Kyrie and AD?
this is the most amazing aspect of this offseason. Kevin Durant is the injured player, and Kyrie Irving is the damaged goods. People have more questions about Kyrie Irving and signing him by himself than they do waiting for Kevin Durant for a year at this stage. Because they look at what he had in Boston. He had the opportunity. He's the guy who has the ring. He's got young talent. He's got veterans like Al Horford. He's got Brad. He's got all the pieces that he needs, and somehow he screwed it up. And so when you have teams now that are looking at Kyrie Irving as being the lone star, the best player, and the leader of the team, they're having second thoughts. If this was KD healthy and Kyrie and KD were the package, the Nets and the Knicks would be fighting to get that package together. But the idea of having KD not available for a year and Kyrie being your best player and setting that template, that's what's causing second thoughts. And so as of right now, it's going to be a matter of if KD says to either team, look, I want Kyrie here. I'm coming if you sign Kyrie. That pushes it over the finish line.
Yep.
But if the Knicks or the Nets have any opportunity to say, well, what if we got Kemba? What if we could get Kawhi? If he would take somebody else, my sense is they would go in that direction. Kyrie has really not done himself a service by what he did over the last year.
He didn't do himself a service after going to 3 straight NBA Finals, winning a chip, hitting a big shot, playing with the best player, had a situation. He wanted out of that. Now he goes to Boston. I want to lead. I am ready to lead. I'm my own man. I can do this. Whoa, well. A funny thing happened on the way to the market. Hey, that old Skip. Oh, you love Kyrie. Oh, Kyrie, he the closer. He saved LeBron James' legacy. Now,
Well, he did.
Who's going to save Kyrie's? How can a man save someone else but can't save himself? You see, Skip, they preach about that. The Bible, Skip, so what good is that?
When is it my turn?
Yeah, it's not your turn just yet. Skip, look, if I'm KD, I believe I sign a 2-1. I go back knowing I'm going to miss the first year. The second year, I'm able to, show that I'm back. And I got Steph, I got Clay, I got Draymond that can lessen the load.
Oh, you mean stay in Golden
Yeah, stay in Golden State. A 2-for-1 in Golden State.
Okay.
The first year, he's not playing. I believe that KD is not playing next season. He's going to play again when he's 32 years of age. But he'll have Steph, Clay, and Draymond to help lessen that load. Skip, he goes somewhere, even with Kyrie, that's still going to be a big load. And coming off an Achilles injury, that's not an easy injury to overcome. Now, Kyrie, like you said, he's damaged good. But Kyrie ain't got nobody to blame but himself. That mood, it was reported that he went months without talking to his Cleveland teammates. It went here, he's gone 2 months. And now he won't return anybody's call. Skip, how you? And that was a young team in Boston. That's a young team in New Jersey. That's in Brooklyn, excuse me. They're a young team at the Knicks.
Yep.
So what you gonna do? Kyrie Irving is who he is now. See, Skip, sometimes giving him that ring. See, Kyrie saw himself as LeBron. Kyrie really sees himself on the level as KD, LeBron, those other Pantheon players. That's how he sees himself. I'm sorry, bro, you're not that.
Several points on the ones you just made. Number one, Kyrie didn't leave because he wanted his own team. He left because, what I was told, he just couldn't take LeBron anymore.
Okay.
He was just sick and tired of all the diva act and having to defer and try to
And the uncertainty.
Yeah, right. The uncertainty. It was just chaotic. It was hysteria. Every day there was new drama. He is the drama king.
Think about what
and
you
after
just
a while,
said.
you just get worn out from it.
Think about what you just said.
Okay.
The uncertainty and the drama. I once told a girlfriend of mine, if you're not careful, you'll become the very thing you despise the most in a person. Look at Kyrie right now. What is it? The uncertainty, the drama, the diva attitude. Skip,
Sounds like she left the next day, right? Is that right?
Nah, I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying, Skip. That's all I'm saying. I believe. Take it away, Skip. Go ahead, finish your point. You're making good points, too.
Kyrie is exactly what he always was. He is still a great closer. Not a good one, a great one. He still has the best handle in the game.
Yes.
He is not the leader of a franchise or a basketball team. He failed miserably in that regard, and I think he knew it right away. And he got a bad break the first year because he got hurt and they took off.
Yep.
And they got all the way to the conference final without him. They got to game 7 of the conference final, and Rozier was just lighting it up, man. And it was fun to watch, and I think it put him in a can't win this past year.
Because he heard all that, what you just said.
That's
they got to game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals
And then
without him.
he can't get out of his own way because when he's in a foul mood, which is up and down often, you know, every other day he's in a foul mood. He's very moody up and down. So is Kevin Durant. They're quite a duo, those two. But Kyrie constantly put his foot in his mouth. He constantly said the wrong thing at the wrong time. And he alienated not only his teammates, but then he alienated Celtic Nation. And once you do that, that bridge got burned to the ground. So to me, I still say maybe this is what I would do, not what's going to happen. I think Kevin Durant should go to the Knicks. I think it would be great for his legacy. Obviously, they would have to wait a whole year, and I believe he should take Kyrie with him because I do think they love each other in a weird sort of way, and they sort of vibe off each other. They put up with each other.
But Kyrie seemed to be hell-bent on getting to the Nets.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from, and I don't know about that.
Yes, but you have to have somebody who wants you too. And if the Nets are looking at their young team and saying, oh, we're only going to get Kyrie.
Right.
And
why would I lose D'Angelo Russell? Because we have great chemistry. We went to the playoffs.
Fine. Okay, would you rather have D'Angelo Russell or KD and Kyrie?
Oh, no question. But I'm saying without as he said,
okay,
without
I'm with
KD,
you on that.
Yeah.
I got you because they did get a nice vibe going last year. Okay.
to your point,
Go ahead.
To your point about the Warriors and his going back there, what I'm hearing is that KD has some questions about why did you tell me it was okay to play? Why did you say that I can't get hurt any further? Because Steve Kerr has told us that's what he was told. I'm going to assume that's what KD was told. And so he's looking around now saying, I'm going to miss a whole year, and you told me that I wasn't going to have this happen to me. That there are some, that relationship with the Warriors, the idea that he would go back there, that's difficult for me to see.
But I would push back, says, hold on, KD. You inside out of our purview. And your doctor told you the same thing. Are you mad at him?
He had enough people in his camp that I know were saying the risk is too great.
You told us that a couple times.
Yes, exactly. Right? And then over the last week, this is the problem. KD wanted to play.
Yes.
And KD's looking at Clay and Kavan and Andre and all these guys playing, and he's thinking, okay, this is what I should do. And they're saying, I won't get hurt. And his own doctors, I mean, down the line, everybody's running for cover right now because he got bad advice.
All the way around.
Bottom line.
And he had surrounded himself with Skip, and I tell young guys, surround yourself with people that tell you what you need to know not what you want to hear. And he surrounded himself with those people, and then he alienated them, and the ones that told him what he wanted to hear, you should play. You can't hurt yourself anymore. That's who he listened to. Now, he done for a year.
Whosever fault it was, a very expensive decision.
Yes.
Rick Bucher, thanks so much for being here. Have a great weekend. Up next on Undisputed, was Zion's suit the biggest story of the draft last night? We'll discuss that up next.
No mercy.
Time for our final topic on this Friday. Zion Williamson definitely dressed like the #1 pick last night, sporting an all-white suit. By a lot of accounts, Skip calls it cream. It reminded a lot of folks, including
a lot of yellow in
Shannon,
that.
of LeBron's all-white suit back in the 2003 draft. So,
Shannon, I got you on this one.
The only thing he did different, Skip, was turn up a build and make it like a trucker's build.
Okay.
You don't know anything about that being from the South. You don't drive no big trucks like I used to.
Oh, really?
Who do you think wore it better?
Look, Skip, in that time, if Zion had showed up in 2003 with the suit he had on last night, they'd just say, man, if you don't get that Pee Wee Herman suit up out of here, we know something.
All right.
If LeBron shows up in 2019 with that suit, they say, if you don't get out of here dressed like Bishop Don Juan, a king of the pimps, out of here. Yeah, they'd have ran him up out of here.
Well,
Skip, now, me, I'm a little, I get a little fitted look myself. I'm into that European.
Are you?
Yeah, big European. I'm a big European right now. So it's fitted, it's not tight. And I like Zion. It's fitted, not tight. The only thing I would have said to do, because it looks like a Nantucket, a summery look, put some sneakers, put some white sneakers with it instead of the black shoes.
Zion had no idea what LeBron wore back in 2003.
Stop it, Skip.
That was all white, snow white, with a white tie on a white shirt. This was a cream suit. It's got yellow in it on a white shirt that's a tuxedo shirt with the pleated bib. And it's open collar. It's like sloppy open.
So you wanted him to come totally with an all-white suit,
I don't
buttoned up?
care what he does. He's just wearing whatever he decided to wear.
No, he wanted to be like LeBron because he's the most hype guy since LeBron.
I like LeBron's a lot better, except he couldn't afford tailoring yet because those sleeves are way too big. They're just way too big.
Everything's way too big. The shoulders are way too big.
It's way too big.
And
Come on.
it's
Gotta
far
get
too
it
many
tailored.
It's far too many buttons. That thing like a
I'm
straight
with
jacket.
you on the white shoes. I would have gone with that too, Shannon.
Yes.
We're out of time. That's it for us, but we will be back Monday morning at 9:30.
No mercy.
Thank you for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Keep an eye out for the weekend edition of the podcast tomorrow morning, featuring this week's best segments. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.